All right.
Spreading bullshit, whatever the cost, but the translation's been lost.
That was a rough one.
Yeah, man, we checked in advance that all three instruments, to see if they were in tune with each other. We acknowledged that they were not, and we did nothing. So there you go. Welcome to the show. We're Translation Lost Podcast. Brian's fucking with the gain.
Yeah, I'm doing some audio engineering that I never learned how to do.
Yeah,
so.
and we've got a special guest today.
Hello.
That's the special guest right there. That's Evan.
That's Evan.
Yeah, I'm Evan.
Silent listener.
Some of you...
Always in the shadows.
Yeah, well, I've since been promoted from avid silent listener to now honoured guest. So thank you very much.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a last minute one too. It wasn't like other ones like had a... Well, actually, Finn's was pretty last minute as well, but not as last minute as this. So I'm glad that you eventually saw my Facebook message.
Yeah.
I've just realised there was something I was supposed to tell you before we started recording, and I completely forgot. I dropped your monster on the floor, so be really careful when you
I was
open
wondering.
it.
I thought that it did look a little kind of...
Yeah.
Yeah, I can see the dents.
What's the thing
bump.
you're supposed to do? Are you supposed to do this
tap
or
the
some
side,
shit?
tap the side. Yeah.
I feel like it probably won't do anything.
Probably
yeah,
not.
But you know what? I'm fidgety anyway. Bet it's coming up super fucking loud though. Yeah. But what we do on this podcast is we watch foreign language movies with no subtitles.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then we discuss what it was like sitting through that utter pile of shite. But I'm speaking in relation to this week specifically.
Yes,
but we'll get back to that.
Sometimes they're just really bad.
Yeah.
Really bad.
Yeah. I'm glad. I like it when other people get to witness just a really bad one.
Yeah.
And it's like, yeah, man, this is like what we're facing week to week.
Yeah, because admittedly, I probably watched none of the films that you've reviewed already.
Maybe Akira. Have you seen Akira?
I have seen Akira.
Yeah.
That's the only one, but I watched that way before you did it on the podcast.
Yeah.
Have you seen Batman and Robin?
I think I saw that. No, I didn't. No, I didn't see that.
I think that might be it. Yeah,
Yeah.
I think that's it for films
None
you
of-
might have seen.
None of
Ghost
the
in
other
the
ones I've
Shell?
seen. No.
No.
Definitely not.
Did I not give you a lend of that at some point?
No, you did give me a letter of Akira though.
Ah, that was it. Anyway,
Yeah.
so let's start with Dara. How's been your week?
How's been my week?
How has been your week?
Well, you know, Brian, it's kind of hard to say because it's actually a bit earlier into the week than we usually do this.
We should probably mention
Yeah,
that.
it's like it's fucking Tuesday.
Yeah.
We usually do this on Saturday, so
Yeah.
this is like way early for us.
Not a lot of week to talk about.
No, not really. Like I was
Yeah.
in work yesterday. It was fine. You know, I was in work the 4 days before that as well, I think. So, you know, it was grand. Like, I had like a little birthday dinner thing for my sister and my brother because they're born a day apart, and that has not been a problem in my life up until this point. And now I have to buy like 2 lots of presents.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so that was like a rough week financially because I also bought an SD card for the camera. So
Which we have not set up for this podcast.
which we have not
No,
set up for this
no.
podcast, but we sometime will, hopefully.
Dara
you know?
was all for it, and I was like, my room is disgusting.
And I have not showered.
And I have not showered.
We can't exclude that bit.
You gotta be looking good.
Also, keep an eye out for other future projects using said camera,
That's
involving some of your favorite people that might just do a podcast.
true.
That happens sometimes last minute on a Tuesday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dara had stuff to do at the end of the week. That's why we're recording today.
Yes. Yeah. What do I even have to do at the end of the week?
You're going
Shit,
up
what
to
do I have to do?
Dublin?
What?
You said you were up at Dublin?
Oh yeah,
You were
no.
doing stuff?
I'm doing. I have to go up to Dublin and work on my house in Knockline again, but I'm doing that on Thursday, and then
Yeah.
I'm working for like 8 or 9 days straight, depending.
Ooh, fun.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's a whole week.
Yeah, it's a little over it. Like it's rough, but it'll be fucking wonderful when I get paid for it all. So I'm covering a guy's lunch shift while he goes to Amsterdam and has a great time.
Oh, good for him.
Yeah.
Not so good for you.
Not so much.
What a dick.
He can return
Dara
the
does not
favor.
endorse my views.
Yeah, no, I really like that guy. He's lovely. His name's Steven. He's great.
He can return the favor
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
someday.
Yeah. Yeah, he'll be returning the favor in Amsterdam. It's fine. How was your week, Brian? We'll leave Evan's week for last because
Man,
our guest.
my week. Let me just sit on my week for a while so we forget to ask Evan. No, my week was fine. It was a week. I've 100%ed Spider-Man. Now that I'm completely finished with that game, yeah, I think it's a lot more mediocre than I thought when I was midway through it. But now I realize that, like, man, there's not a lot of content in that game. There's not a lot.
Like, when did you get it? Because I remember you got it.
I was 70% complete the second day I had it. But I did play it for like 12 hours the day before. Damn. So, but still, that's not...
It's not.
There's really not a lot going on. And a lot of what is... Like, there's a lot of stuff there that feels like maybe has been cut out. Yeah. Because before the game came out, they announced 3 DLCs.
Right, okay.
Yeah.
So it's that cash grab technique.
A little bit. It feels a little bit like that, and it feels like maybe it just feels like there's not enough substance to it. The story's good, and it's like an interesting take on a lot of the characters, but there's just not a lot there. See, maybe the sequel will have... but that was the thing. There wasn't a lot in Arkham Origin as well, or Arkham Asylum.
Yeah.
But then Arkham City came along, and...
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. I feel like there'll probably still be fucking loads in that Spider-Man game for me. Or like to me. I would consider... Because it would take me longer to progress through the game than it does you. Like you can sit down and like fly through a game, whereas I have to I have to get good at it. you know?
Those games like do not enrapture me at all. Like
it's the swinging. It's so fun.
It's definitely fun, but like you've seen a couple of swings, you've seen them all. You know what I mean?
That's the thing. There's not a lot of variety in the animations for swinging.
Yeah.
As well.
It's always good.
It's fun to do, but after a while, you know exactly what it's going to look like.
After a while, you're like, I wish I could do this in real life. That's what I feel like.
That's totally it. That's totally fucking it as well.
Who the fuck wouldn't? Though?
Yeah.
No. So I want to do that without playing the game.
Now I'm slowly waiting for Red Dead Redemption 2. It's the longest wait of my fucking life.
Very impatiently.
They released another gameplay video yesterday that I encourage anyone who is interested to go check it out. It looks fucking unreal.
Yeah.
People react to like if you're muddy or not. It's insane.
Yeah.
Steal their hats.
You told me all about that shit.
Yeah, shopkeepers will be like, "Get the fuck out of my shop" if you come in and you're covered in mud. Like stuff like that. It's.
You get out of here.
Or blood. If you've got a ton of blood on you, people might run away from you in the streets. It looks unreal.
Yeah.
That sounds pretty cool.
Realism.
And I watched all of Jack Whitehall's Travels with My Father.
I fucking hate him.
That's fair.
Not a fan.
It's my gut reaction. I can't stand him. He drives me crazy.
I like him in that show.
Yeah.
Yeah, I find him pretty tolerant. And this is someone who I've watched all the panel shows.
Yeah.
I've seen Jack Whitehall all over the shop and always kind of was like, eh. But it's the chemistry between him and his dad is pretty fun. And they go to weird places. And
man,
it's okay. It's a fine background show.
A guy, I won't say who, but I worked with him on a film.
Mm-hmm.
And he had worked with like a load of comedians and was like, he drove me back from where we were filming to Dublin one day.
Yes.
And like we were just talking in the car about like all the different comedians he's worked with and met, and he brought up Jack Whitehall, and he was basically saying that Jack Whitehall, his father is like an important guy,
yeah.
and so that he just was handed a comedy career, and apparently he was kicked out of, I can't remember what, like maybe the BAFTAs or something, for taking way too much cocaine. Like way too much.
I believe it. I believe it. I'm all in on
believe it too, right? I totally would, like 100%.
But yeah, I'm definitely with you though. Fuck Jack Whitehall.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
His comedy is not great. Like I don't think it's good. He always does that thing where he's like hyper energetic and he's kind of like giving you these weird googly eyes while he tells you everything. Or he's like, "I'm so shocked! Isn't this so incredible?"
No, he's not shocked. That's the coke.
Yeah. But you see, do you know another thing about that show is that it came onto Netflix a little while after I started seeing ads for a Russell Howard show where he was like going places with his ma, like going exploring with his ma.
That was
right?
years before this.
But that's the thing is I saw that, but I was not aware of that show until like a little while before this Jack Whitehall thing came out, and I was just like, come on, are you fucking serious? Because the Russell Howard thing, I never got to see an episode of it, but it looked really funny. The ads were good. I love Russell Howard. You know?
His dad's fun in it.
Yeah,
his dad clearly is disappointed in him for a lot of it, and it's really funny.
That's great.
Like it's like they go to India at one point, I think, or somewhere in Asia to play football.
Yeah.
And he's like, maybe if I get him to play some football, like, you know, maybe if that's what I did with him back in the day, he wouldn't have turned out like this.
That's great.
It's pretty fun. It's a good background show, like when they're doing something else, just sticking on in the background, like Star Trek or any other show.
Any other show?
I watched and finished Peep Show.
Oh man, I fucking love that show.
That show hurts.
Yeah, it does.
That show fucking hurts.
Yeah,
it's my like 8th time watching it.
Yeah, man, I've watched it a lot, like, but it's hard, but it's really funny. I can't.
I'm always surprised how good it is when I go back to it, and I think it's just because I come away from it so like, oh no, that like you forget that it's actually like a really great show.
Yeah.
The ending of that show is phenomenal. It's perfect. And they might be going back to it in like 10 years or something, they said.
Yeah.
They said if they were going to do it, they said if they were going to do a 10th season, it would be like revisiting those characters in their like 50s or 40s.
Great.
50s now, I assume.
And then 10 years later from that, we'll get the pensioner version. And that's what we're all really waiting for. I want to see out their retirement.
But man, those
Jez
guys
would be dead by then.
No, it'll be fine.
Oh. It'll be even sadder if they revisit it, actually.
Yeah.
I kind of don't want that. That seems like it would just be a super downer.
They could revisit it and just make it like a genuine, like, just a depressing feature film, like an indie film. But it's like there's no humor in it. It's just super dry and sad. And it's like, remember all those laughs you had at these like bad people doing bad things? Look how awful everything turned out for them in the end.
Yeah, it'll be funded by the government. Anti-drugs.
How was your week?
How was your week, Evan?
My week.
Dara has decided we're done discussing my week. Now it's time to move on to yours.
Rude.
There was too many lulls.
I was done. Yeah, pretty much.
Well, I've been doing some boring life things, trying to get that job and all of that good. Doing all the stuff related to that, and that's basically my entire week. Other than other menial things. I haven't done anything exciting at all, really.
You need to get closer to the mic.
Oh yeah. I haven't done anything exciting really at all, except played boatloads Counter-Strike at ridiculously late hours.
No way, really?
Yeah.
What an uncharacteristic
wow,
thing for you
that's
to do.
crazy.
Yeah. So sometimes I'm like, yeah, I'll play games, but
you play a
I
game.
play a game.
Yeah, Evan loves Counter-Strike more than I know of a person like loving a game. Really.
Do you love Counter-Strike, or is it like a beaten housewife kind of thing? You can't leave.
I go through
blink twice.
For the listeners at home who can't see me, I did indeed blink twice.
I just realized as I said that would not play. It's a podcast.
Well, no, I definitely love it at times, and then I don't love it.
Yeah.
And then I fucking hate it, and then I love it again, and then it's like an addiction.
And then 20 years go by and you kill yourself.
It's like an addiction,
Yeah.
But a great competitive addiction, yes.
And I feel like probably good for
releasing some stress.
I bet it keeps the mind pretty sharp.
Fucking, it actually really does. Yeah, actually.
Yeah.
I think so. Anyway.
You can meet some nice people from all around the world.
Yeah, and learn all the beautiful phrases that they throw at you.
I've heard that Counter-Strike Go is a really friendly community.
Yeah. And I'm right in there with them.
You gotta. That's back in the COD days, back in the fucking Halo days and the Call of Duty days. If you're not up there smack talking, you're not really playing the game.
Yeah, it's all part of it, Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a psychological war as well as a virtual war,
I remember one day I was like abusing this young child down the microphone of my brother's headset because he he like blew up his shit on Minecraft.
Oh,
but,
no.
But he'd been doing it for days. Like Harry just kept building shit, and he just kept destroying it all. And I was like, fuck this kid. I just like picked up the mic. I can't even remember what I was saying, but I remember my mom like walked in and was like, stop, get away from the microphone. Don't do this anymore. No. But fuck that kid. Like, I couldn't stay watching it happen to my brother sucked.
The classic Minecraft griefers.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Yeah, man.
That used to be me. I used to jump into Minecraft on the PC and like worm my way in.
Yeah.
Start
hey
blowing
guys,
stuff
can I
in.
build a house here?
Yeah. Oh, nice house, dude. Can I see it? Let me in.
Do you have to be invited in, or are you like a vampire in Minecraft?
I am.
So that's.
Oh.
Do you know what else? I'm sorry. I watched two other things during the week. I didn't actually mention anything I watched. I watched two things during the week. I watched more of the OJ thing, the fucking People versus OJ Simpson.
Oh yeah, I've heard that's really good.
It is. It's very compelling. Very compelling. I'm on the last episode now. Really enjoying that. Fucking, man, I was talking to Finn about this the other day. I feel like I have to be a little delicate with my language. But Cuba Gooding Jr., I feel like he plays the part of O.J. Simpson a little slow, to be honest.
What do you mean?
He plays the part as if he's got some kind of mental disability. Genuinely. That's the way that he comes across. That's the way he comes across. Like he's playing him like this blind, ignorant, obnoxious, emotional guy, but who's kind of like a fucking like a caricature of himself, like a caricature of a fucking successful American football player. It's really weird, like, but and like he just doesn't seem to pick up on a lot of shit that's going down.
Isn't that kind of in line with what people think of OJ right now, though? And even back then, when they heard like phone calls of stuff happening around that time, and he did kind of sound a bit dopey.
Yeah.
Like a little bit, because he was a footballer, like.
Yeah, but you see,
they get knocked around.
That's the thing. That's the theory, though. Is that's what's wrong with. That's why he is so like deranged and just snapped. Is because he just sustained way too many head injuries, and it's a theory that they will not be able to test until he dies. But they want to get in and have a look at his brain, and be like, did this guy just like snap like a fucking twig because he was just getting whacked in the head every day?
They think like that this guy snapped and murdered, his wife and her person that she was having an affair with, I think.
No. It wasn't even like he was her new
I am
lover.
not actually very well versed on the OJ. I know that
they were separated.
And...
They were separated,
okay,
and she was like rumored to be seeing this guy, and she definitely was, like, because they were like murdered on the way into her house.
Yeah,
Yeah. So, yeah.
Also,
but like, sorry, you
Dara was watching something. I forgot to mention, just on the end of it, I also watched Invasion of the Body Snatchers.
Oh, that's a good one.
Right? Because, let's be real, OJ, it's a bit dark.
It's a bit dark.
Invasion of the Body Snatchers?
Yeah. Total human domination is a lot less dark than OJ Simpson's
Hey, at least it's not
murder.
real. There's no actual human
That's
domination. True. But I watched the 1956 one, which is great.
Yeah.
And then realized that there was a 70s one with Donald Sutherland.
Yes.
And I watched that, and that was amazing. And you get to see two different time ideas, like themes, basically. Two way different themes, but it's essentially the same film, same plot, same everything.
I don't think I've seen the 50s one, but I've seen the 72 one, 72.
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah, one of those years.
The Donald Sutherland one.
Yeah.
Jack Bauer's dad.
But yeah, great films.
Yeah.
A lot of crazy stuff.
When he points and he's
Sorry for just totally derailing that.
No, that's
cool.
fine. Don't worry about it.
I realized midway through talking about the O.J. Simpson trial that I actually know nothing about it, but I was gonna forge on anyway.
I know fucking loads.
I'm not ashamed to admit that basically the only thing I know from that is a BuzzFeed Unsolved video.
Yeah.
I watched like yesterday.
It's a pretty informative BuzzFeed Unsolved video, though.
They're very good videos.
Yeah.
Oh, those videos are great.
Which is, it kind of hurts because it's BuzzFeed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
God damn it. I don't want to admit.
They have their own channel now, though, which is good, where they upload.
Yeah.
So you can subscribe to them. Because I wanted to do that, but I didn't want to subscribe to BuzzFeed.
No, definitely not.
I actually
much
I was watching some stupid shit on YouTube that Roshan showed me, and it's kind of stupid shit, but it's also kind of amazing. It's you saw some of it. It was fucking, so like it's like truth or drink, but they just do loads of videos with like loads of pairs of people. And it's weird, like there's a video that's like fucking exes play truth or drink, or engaged couples play truth or drink.
I think I've seen parents and
children.
And
that's
children.
A good one.
Yeah.
But apparently there's loads in each category. Like it's not like they just do one of each.
And virgins.
Yeah, we watched people try to guess who's a virgin out of a crowd.
How did you even get people to agree to participate in that video?
Some of the versions will shock you, Brian. I swear to God. Like,
is this your words or what it says on the video?
No, these are my words. And like I was like
number 16.
Ever since, this was last night that Roshan showed me this shit. I've watched like, I think I maybe watched like 7 of them today, because they're all like 4 minutes long, and sometimes you're just really bored. And like I watched one earlier this evening while I was in the car waiting for your mother to come out of Tesco. Like that kind of like easy accessible shit, you know.
I remember watching like a good few of those one night when I was just sitting drinking.
Yeah,
they're addictive. Like once you get into those videos, you're just going through them.
And for some of
it's
them,
like Watch Mojo videos back in the day.
Oh god, it's still going strong.
And those lists only get worse. They must be running out of ideas.
12 best of lists.
Yeah, man. And for some of the like pairs of people, if they're like particularly interesting, they'll be like, "Oh, we're just gonna put up a full version of their game." Like they'll be in the like video with like other pairs of couples and stuff.
Is this on like a white background?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. I'm thinking of the right one then.
Yeah, it's some good shit, man.
I didn't know it went that deep. I thought they were just like a couple of videos.
Yeah, no, there's fucking loads of them. It's great.
Definitely going to get in there.
Yeah, it's really good.
Ali introduced me to some horrible YouTube videos that I am very addicted to right now.
Yeah.
It's Musically or TikTok. It's like these two like apps that are like it's a bit like Vine.
I know the Musically one. My fucking my half sister. That took me a minute. My half sister Darren, she uses it or used it for a while.
Okay, so.
Oh God! Why are your eyes so wide?
What you do? What you do is you record. For anyone who doesn't know, you like record yourselves miming a song or something, and then but me and Ali have been absolutely blasting through Musically cringe compilations.
What level of cringe are you on right now?
Oh, it's so bad. It's so bad.
How cringy can it get? Like
really cringy.
Because like if they posted it, like why would they post it if it just sucked?
Oh, some people you see they don't seem to be all there. Like they don't seem to realize what they're doing.
A couple of OJ Simpsons in there.
Also, there's a lot of like emo teenagers too, and you see it and you're like, oh, this is the kind of shit that I would look back on and like just be embarrassed. It's not really. It's like secondhand embarrassment. Cringe doesn't really do it justice.
Are you ever glad that like we didn't have as much shit to embarrass ourselves on? So fucking glad. Like we had like Ask FM where you were anonymous.
Yeah.
That's where people went to actually like spill shit.
Only every so often did you bully people on there. I remember that was always the story, right? That was always the story. Someone got bullied on Ask FM.
I had forgotten about Ask FM. I'll tell you right now.
Or Formspring.
Formspring, yeah.
Yeah, everyone had a Formspring. Fucking Stumble Upon,
yeah. Which you didn't let you stumble upon very much, actually. If you used it enough, it would just be like
the same.
Whatever. There's some stuff.
The same few things every time. Yeah.
I remember with my Ask FM, you kept like asking questions, but you would like turn off the anonymous thing.
Yeah.
You were just asking me questions as Brian.
I wanted to know.
You could have just hit me with a message. You were really that curious.
I wanted to know. That's kind of back now on Twitter as well. There's like a site that does that again.
Fucking Instagram stories, you can do it now. You can put up a little thing being like, ask me a question, and someone types in their question.
Yeah.
And then you answer on your story. And it's really weird, right?
Because everyone can see it.
What's really weird about it is that everyone can see the answer, but only the person who posts it, who asks people to ask them questions, can see who asked what question. So they can see, but no one else can see that you asked that question.
Okay.
So a lot of the time, what I see most of the time is just women, like, being like, ask me a question, and then their best friend presumably being like, "Hey, why are you so beautiful?" And they're like, "OMG, stop!" And then like that's it. I'm like, "Oh wow, I learned so much about you." From this little experiment.
Yeah, really, we need to bring back Formspring, where you demand an answer. Just through
on Formspring. What was Formspring?
No, it was Ask FM.
Yeah, it was basically Ask
They
FM.
just changed the name.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah, and you just demand an answer.
Yeah.
Just because of the format of the website.
We actually that reminds me, I have successfully given up something over the last like maybe 3 weeks.
It wasn't meat.
What?
It wasn't meat.
No, it wasn't me.
Better
That
not say
fell
meat,
apart
Brian.
very quickly. It was Twitter on my phone.
Oh yeah.
I've completely cut out like Twitter. I can still use it on my computer, but I'm not on my computer all the time. But you see, the problem was I was waking up in the morning and scrolling through Twitter for 2 hours before I got out of bed. That's just a really awful way to start your day.
Yeah, 100%.
So I'm
have
trying to like
always
cut
hated
down on
Twitter.
it. Yeah,
I've always hated it.
kind of sucks.
Could never even use it because I made one and then followed a few people, got banned for being suspected of bot activity.
That's
And then they
hilarious.
demanded my phone number to continue using the account. And then I said, "Fuck you, Twitter. You piece of shit.
Yeah.
What is this?" So I never even got to get that quality time spent lazing away in bed scrolling through Twitter for hours.
No,
got it.
Yeah, I can't give up at this point. I have 62 followers. That's like, there's people who need me out
You're
there.
like a couple, just a couple away from the big time, maybe.
Yeah, I think it's about to blow up. It's
whenever I do scroll Twitter, which is not very often because I still have the app, like it's there on my phone.
Yeah.
But when I do scroll it, I just can't stand the way that it's all like broken language because people are trying to fucking condense what they have to say into like limited characters. So I'm there reading it and it's like, "Hey, at this person," and it's just their username, so it doesn't actually tell me who they're talking to a lot of the time. It's like, "Hey, at whoever, are you going to hashtag," and then some abbreviation or some bullshit. I'm like, what does this mean? I have no idea what any of this means.
Yeah.
It's just infuriating. I don't know. It doesn't do it for me.
Just really quick, speaking of abbreviations, that's another thing that I get on Twitter because I follow a lot of video game people. They'll just abbreviate like the title of any video game and expect you to know what they're talking about.
I always have to Google it. And
Yeah. I always have to Google it, and then half the time it never fucking, like, it doesn't tell me what it is.
Yeah.
And I'm like, "Oh, Jesus Christ, just put the name."
Yeah. Also, it's like worse than like, it's almost worse than like the old school text speak where it's like, "Where are you?" You know, it's almost worse than that because they will just totally ignore sentence structure entirely and just skip total words. And it just looks like trash. It looks like it's written by like a child who's learning how to write. And it'll be like a lawyer posting to fucking Twitter.
That's most of Twitter, is just like children.
Yeah.
It feels like.
Well, I'm on text speak. I never ever used text speak until like pretty recently, and I don't use much of it.
Actually.
I don't use much of it, but I'll like sometimes I'll be like, "Well, I don't want to write, by the way."
Oh,
You know,
yeah.
that's 3 whole fucking words.
Yeah.
You know,
I use BTW all the time.
or
but
just
like,
you know the THO instead of a full though.
no,
For some
I
reason,
don't,
I think it kind of captures the way I mean the though.
I don't
a lot of the
like
time.
that at all.
I like it. I like it because
You're a
it's
though
a little, it's a
apologist.
fluid little motion as well. It's like TH is up here, then H is down here, and then O is up here, right next to the send button. So I can just be like, bloom, bloom, bloom. That's gone.
Dude, I refuse to do that, and also I've never gotten used to typing on like new phones.
Yeah.
So it just takes me fucking ages to type anything now, message wise. It's awful.
Yeah, you're not a phone guy at all.
No,
No.
no. I mean, I am, but no. I applied for a job in a phone shop.
Yeah, that's right.
I totally am a phone guy. Look at this. This is a phone.
Yeah, that is a phone.
You know,
iPhone.
I have been told that Brian, in fact, always has a phone
Yeah.
on his person.
Yeah, that I.
So, you know,
I always have
you're a
like
phone guy.
3 or 4.
You're a phone guy.
Wait, no, that means drug dealer. Never mind. I'm a phone guy.
Do you know what else I watched this week?
Oh,
I
yeah.
watched 3 episodes. I already told Evan about this of Norsemen on Netflix.
I don't know what that is.
It's a Scandinavian sitcom
Sitcom?
about Vikings, right?
Oh, I saw this on Netflix and I just thought it was a drama.
No, it's about Vikings and it's about like them going about their business, but also it's about the slaves that they have brought back.
Okay.
And it's great. It's really funny.
I gotta check that out. That just sounds like
It
a great
sounds
premise.
so weird.
It's so weird, but
As
it's
soon
really
as you
funny.
said sitcom, my brain just went like, what?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's
How could you have people dress like that and not be a period drama?
yeah.
legit. One woman in particular is really hard to understand. Like the accents are jarring, and it's weird because like I'm trying to like determine if their delivery is good, but I'm not used to hearing people talk like this. I can't really comment. Like it's so strange, but it's really funny.
I gotta check it out.
Yeah.
That sounds really good. That's the thing with sitcoms. They're so samey sometimes. Like it's all, this young person just moved into a new city
Yeah.
and they're all like so many fucking sitcoms are like that. And just it's nice when you get like, it's
actual original setting.
it's a Viking sitcom.
Yeah.
What? That's crazy. Like,
Yeah. Actually hasn't been done.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's the only other show I can think of is Vikings, and that's definitely not a
Definitely
sitcom.
not a
sitcom.
Not a
But
sitcom.
everyone in Ireland has been in it, assumedly.
Apparently, so
They're always looking for fucking extras.
yeah.
Yeah,
They
it's
always
mad.
are. I went
like
down
20k people show up as well.
Yeah.
I went down once, right? I was doing an audition in Dublin. Anyway, I had like an actual audition booked.
Yeah,
And so
yeah.
my ma was like, "You should go to the Vikings thing, and like and just swing by that since you're gonna be there anyway." So I went up early, and I waited in line for the Vikings thing. I wasn't going to. I arrived at the building. I believe it was in Film Base in Temple Bar.
Okay.
And when I didn't even get to Film Base. I got like close to Film Base, and I started seeing like a queue of people stretching around like every fucking corner of Temple Bar. Like it was just zigzagging up along. I was like, Jesus. And I was walking along this queue of people, and I ran into a guy I know from Carlo. I don't know if you'd know his... No, I don't even know his surname. I can't remember his surname. Adrian
That's fine. You
is
don't
his
need to
name,
say
though.
his surname.
Yeah, Adrian is his name, I think. Or, I don't know. He was friends with Oisin. That's how I originally knew
Oh,
him.
right.
And he was like, "Oh, you can come on, jump in here. It's fine." And I was like, "Okay, cool." And I stood there with him and like his friends and this woman behind us who just happened to be really friendly. I was chatting to her for like 2.5 hours, and I got like within, I could see the fucking door, but I was too late. I was like, I will only make my audition if I go now. So I had to just leave. I waited in line that whole fucking time. I didn't even get in.
For nothing.
Nothing. And I was... Back then, I was like young babyface Dara. Like, there was no facial hair or anything. I could only be cast as a slave. Like, really.
Or a child.
Or a
Yeah,
child.
yeah, child. Yeah.
Yeah. And then you probably never actually would have been in the show anyway.
No, probably not. No.
You probably, or just you're way off in the distance somewhere.
Yeah. Extra work, man.
Also, Vikings just never really struck me as that good of a show.
I never
No.
watched any of it. It never seemed... I don't know.
Always seemed in the same vein as like The Walking Dead's, The Lost.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, those...
It's no Game of Thrones.
No.
I can't.
Although Game of Thrones has gone to trash.
I fell off after season 5. I just hated it.
I don't even think I got that far.
Wow. That's...
I watched 2 episodes of season 5 and was like, no.
I was
I'm
always
out.
like, never that, like, because I always knew people who were like, oh my god, this show is the best thing that's ever happened. And I've just never, ever given a shit.
It was really good though, for a second.
For a short, like, the very start is pretty good. And, like, interesting, but then it's like
Where there's actual books to write a series from.
that's fair.
I have not seen a single episode.
It's very long.
Man,
Yeah.
It's very long.
Middle earthy stuff doesn't really grab me.
It's not really like that. It's
No.
it's
It's
unique.
more human.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
is very. There's very little like supernatural stuff in it.
Yeah.
There still is, but
There is, but it's very sparse. But when it is there, it's fucking in your face.
yeah, it's
High fantasy.
Shadow Man.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It's pretty cool. The world is cool.
The world is cool.
The world is really cool, and the lore is cool, but the show is, to be honest, a little bit long-winded for me.
Well, you see, the real thing is though, like you can say the setting, anything about setting, but it's about like the interpersonal relationships of the main characters, really, and how they all like are like plotting and killing and doing all weird political intrigue stuff. You know, that's what the main attraction of the show
There's
was.
just there's
and
a
that just
couple
got
of
real convoluted, real fast, and gets stupid.
there's a couple of seasons in the middle there where like really feels like not a lot happens,
Yeah.
or like there's like episodes and episodes, and because each episode is like nearly an hour long. When like you watch an episode and you're like, I really feel like nothing really happened in that episode. It just feels like it's wasted your time.
Yeah.
I'm rewatching Breaking Bad and it falls into that so hard.
Does Breaking Bad do that same thing or something similar as Game of Thrones, where they'll set up the season so that there will be those filler episodes because you want to have the big hard hitting episode as episode 9 out of 10. You know, say if you have a 10 episode season.
Oh yeah, sure, definitely they do.
Yeah.
But
I hate that.
But actually, one of the best episodes of Breaking Bad is a filler episode.
Which
It's
would you say?
the one where he's trying to kill the fly.
Fly. Yeah, I was telling you about this episode the other
Yeah.
night.
Yeah.
I was saying to Evan, because he hasn't seen Breaking Bad, that
What?
it'd
You
be.
should at least watch it once. It's
I
great.
was
No.
saying to him that it would at least be worth, and I would be happy to do it as well. I would go through Breaking Bad and like pick out like fucking, like even like 5 standout episodes. Like I can think of 3 off the top of my head.
There's definitely 5 in there.
Yeah.
Definitely more than 5.
And I definitely think I've watched Breaking Bad.
I think
in
the first 2
full-
episodes are really good. Like,
Yeah,
that's a good
Yeah,
starting point.
it is a really good start. It
Start at
starts-
episode
it
1
starts
and it
really
hooks
strong.
you pretty
Yeah,
strong.
super
like,
strong.
yeah.
The opening scene is fantastic, like, but to the whole show. But like, I've watched Breaking Bad twice now in full, and I know for a fact that it lulls. I know where it lulls.
does.
Like it's like season 4
Yeah.
to 5.
Yeah.
In those 2 seasons, and the problem with it is that they kept the same protagonist throughout 2 seasons instead of like they usually like it's constantly changing, and it's
Yeah.
not, they don't even have the
Protagonist
one,
or
not
antagonist?
sorry,
Antagonist.
they keep the same one for 2
Yeah,
seasons,
yeah,
and it
that's-
really fucking drags toward the
That's
end.
where I fell off on my second watch.
Yeah,
Like,
but then
yeah.
when they finally resolve that, it's really satisfying.
Yeah.
It's a
yeah.
great resolve, but you fucking work for it, like.
Also, I like that. Never like it's not like like Lost or any other show where it just kind of falls off after a while. Like that show has a beginning, a middle, and an end, and it ends strong.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
it-
Well, that's one of the 3 episodes that I can think of off the top of my head that's worth watching. Is the last one.
Oh,
I think that's a fucking
Don't start with
great
that one.
episode. It's a great episode. Like,
you should. I would suggest watching Breaking Bad. It's really good. It's one of the best TV shows.
I
ever.
almost definitely won't.
you see, that's the thing.
That's really fair.
He's married
Yeah.
to that idea, which is why I'm like, I could pick out some episodes that are
Yeah,
worth seeing.
I would definitely watch a couple episodes, just random episodes, because I've done that with some other shows. Because, you know, that's actually kind of how you used to watch stuff
Yeah.
like that
Yeah.
anyway, you
Yeah.
know? And then you're like, oh, damn, this, like, season 3 episode is pretty good.
That's what
Maybe I'll
that's-
check out season 1.
That's what was so weird to me when I went back and watched all of that 70s show on Netflix. I was like, oh, there's like a running story.
yeah,
Because
yeah.
I used to watch it on the fucking TV while I was like playing computer games.
Yeah.
And I would come on at 7 or whatever. And I'd be like,
I was surprised when a lot of those shows actually had
Yeah,
like persistent stories.
Friends doesn't.
No,
Barely.
not-
Friends
Yeah,
barely
Friends
has.
barely
not really.
does,
They have
really
like
barely does.
one plot line a season.
I think
and
Peep
it's
Show is
sparse.
almost necessary to watch it in order. Like, that
Oh,
should, that's,
Peep has to be. Peep Show
Yeah.
is amazing.
Yeah.
yeah. I'm trying to think of other shows that like sitcoms that you need to watch in order. Brooklyn Nine-Nine? You can probably watch a few episodes out of that.
I mean, you there is a story, but it's not incredibly important. Like Brooklyn Nine-Nine, the appeal is that it's just like dumb fun, and you could jump in anywhere and find it funny. I think like you don't need to know the characters to get the jokes.
Always Sunny is kind of a weird one.
I would say those are both similar in that you'll probably just miss out on some in-jokes
that
are written in there.
But that's the thing
Based
with
off
Always Sunny is some of those in-jokes are so good. You really
some
don't
of them
want to
are
miss
really
them.
fucking, some of them are like
the whole like
a
cricket.
long payoff.
I've watched a few episodes with my dad and he hasn't watched the show at all, and cricket shows up and I have to be like, oh shit, you don't know who cricket is.
Yeah.
And then I'll just turn to him and be like, that guy used to be a priest.
I'm more open to watching that as well, from like in order start to finish, because Danny DeVito.
Yeah.
There
Not
you
in
go.
the first season.
Not
though.
in the first season,
Yeah.
but
Have you watched Always Sunny, Evan?
Oh yeah, I've watched a bunch of episodes, but not in order.
Definitely you should.
Yeah.
should.
That show's excellent.
So
you
much
just
of it
watched
is
Charlie
I
Work.
just watched Charlie Work, and it's fucking great.
Yeah.
And you came over to my house during the week, and you were like, oh, we watched an episode or two, and you were like, I'm pretty sure the next episode you're going to watch is Charlie Work. Let me know when you've seen it. It's great. It's fantastic.
One of the best episodes.
Highest rated
of the
one on
entire
IMDb,
yeah.
so I hear.
That long fucking camera, that one
long
continuous shot.
Yeah, that Birdman style fucking...
It
I love
actually
that shit.
isn't based off Birdman.
I know,
They
I
based
bet
it off
it's
something
not,
else.
Yeah, but it's still it's that's what it's kind of famous for. But it's a great. I love that kind of.
No,
style.
I mean the guy who wrote it was like, yeah, people have said, oh, it's based off Birdman, but
Yeah.
actually he got it from somewhere entirely different, and it
Yeah.
was purely a coincidence.
That's gas.
Also, Dennis in that episode is
Yeah.
really underrated, I think.
Yeah, yeah.
Like he's so funny, and
What you see? That's a thing for in favor of watching that show start to finish, is the progression of the characters. Like, it's insane, man. Like if you
specifically Dennis.
yeah,
is, like,
specifically
amazing.
Dennis. It's fucking crazy. Like, and I'm on season 10 now. How many are there? Is it just 10?
That's
so far?
on 13 at the moment.
13. But how many
There's
are on
12
Netflix?
on Netflix.
Fuck me.
That's
Yeah.
so many.
So much, man. But I'm on 10, and I'm like, I'd love to go back and watch like an episode from season 1 and just see what the characters are like.
I think I'm almost ruined on that show now.
Really?
I've watched it so many times. Like I will go back and watch an episode and know every line.
Yeah.
Like I've watched that show so many fucking times.
Yeah, you have watched a lot of episodes with me, and like known immediately by the title or something, or like an image from it. You're like, this one's great, and you just put it on.
Yeah.
So
I know every episode.
and you're like looking to me every time that there's a joke you love. Like
I hate
before
that.
it happens.
I hate doing that because I know how annoying it is, but I can't help it because I want to see like, is he laughing? Does he think it's funny? Yeah, I've watched so much of that fucking show.
It's a good one though. It's a very good one.
Oh, I'll always go back and watch it and enjoy it. Like
It's great to watch and work. Good 25-minute episodes.
The one that's another really big one is The Office. That's one that I always go back to.
The US one, isn't it?
US
yeah, I
one.
haven't seen it. It's supposed to
They
be
got
great.
rid of
It's
it
not
off
on,
Netflix.
Yeah. It's not been on Netflix in all the time that I've wanted to watch
I almost cried when I went to Netflix one day and I was like, all right, I'm fine. I'm going to watch The Office again.
Yeah.
Boom. It's not there.
Well,
there's been petitions and stuff to get Netflix to get it back.
That's gas.
tell you right now, it's all about the UK Office, the original, the OG, the best UK Office.
The UK
Ricky
Office
Gervais.
is a better show, but it's an
hilarious.
entirely different show to the US Office.
Yeah. Well, it's all about that awkward.
And the US Office still
Awkward
has
humor,
that, but it definitely it starts off trying to copy the UK one, and it doesn't really work. But once it goes into its own thing with its own characters,
it's a deadly show.
it's still really, really good.
Really good, but
See-
yeah,
It's no US peep show.
Yeah. Oh my god. Man, Brian watched that, the fucking pilot for it, and sent it to the group chat.
It's on YouTube.
I watched a minute of it. The guy from Big Bang Theory,
Leonard
Leonard is in it. He plays Mark, Oh my god,
He's
it's
the
fucking
worst.
atrocious. It's so bad, man.
Just misses the whole point of people.
They don't do the point of view shots.
Yeah, like it's.
Oh god.
Oh man,
It's like the whole show. Well, it's like a lot of the show.
it's the original. That's like where what the idea
Yeah.
was at the
Peep-
start. Like,
Peep show.
yeah.
It was originally gonna
called POV.
Yeah, it was originally going to be called POV. Yeah, so. And see,
Really
the problem
dropped the
is,
ball there, Leonard.
whenever they're talking in their head, it like
Then
cuts
it's
to their
weird.
POV
Yeah.
in the UK show, so you know who it is that's thinking. But because they're both American in this show and they both kind of sound the same, just because Americans all sound the same, that's not true. But because it doesn't like cut to their point of view, you just hear the disembodied voice and it sounds really weird. Or sometimes there's a scene where Mark Leonard, whatever his fucking name is like walking and the camera is behind him and he's talking in his head, but at first you think he's just talking out loud while walking through the office.
Yeah, because you can't see his fucking lips.
And it doesn't make any fucking sense.
Yeah.
It's so bad.
Yeah,
Check it out.
Awful, man. It looked horrific.
Maybe
Check out the UK That 70s Show as well.
Oh Jesus.
There's a pilot for that too.
Please,
and
no.
It's weird because it's the opposite way around.
And still just
And
as bad.
still shit. Yeah.
Yeah. Don't cross cultures. Is the lesson.
That's the lesson for today.
Well,
everyone.
but to be fair, could they ever in a million fucking years set Father Ted anywhere else? Like, if you write a
Yeah,
sitcom,
like-
a lot of the time it just belongs where it is.
Like,
You know?
imagine if they made Father Ted like a vicar in England.
Yeah.
Imagine the outrage.
Oh my god, there'd be riots in the streets.
I'd be in the streets.
I would.
I would
I'd
be rioting,
fucking livid,
yeah,
man.
Yeah.
I would, yeah.
100%.
Genuinely, yeah.
Hopefully,
That's
I
going
haven't
to start a
jinxed it.
whole new rake of troubles. Let me tell you.
A whole new kind of trouble.
Yeah, legit. But like, that's the thing. Like, it's.
Think of how many people would go out and protest that with down with this sort of thing.
Oh
signs.
my
Oh.
god, the streets would be flooded. Careful now.
Careful
That'd
now.
be fucking great.
That's like a weird like psychological thing. Who makes the sign that says down with this sort of thing and who makes the careful now?
Yeah, you can tell a lot about
the two different types of people.
If someone's like, "Oh, I don't mind. I'll take the careful now," you're like, "Ooh, gotta watch
Oh,
out
you
for this
identify
guy."
as a bit of a Dougal, do you?
Yeah.
I think Brian's definitely careful now.
Absolutely not. I'm down with this sort of thing. I rant all the time.
I rant much more. If it was just this podcast,
You don't live with me. I will come downstairs in the morning and it just mid-rant.
I know, man. I think all I'm saying is there is like actual recorded evidence on this YouTube channel that whoever is listening to this is on right now of me ranting and raving like a fucking lunatic.
Oh, you
Me.
you rant and rave on the podcast sometimes? No way.
Get out of here.
No, I'm sure you probably didn't notice, Brian, because I'm always so funny with it.
You
were
were
just cracking up the entire time.
what a twist this is. We're almost a year in. I didn't even know.
Wait. Am I at the right podcast?
Jesus, I feel like we should probably talk about the film.
Probably. How into it are
Like
we?
50 minutes.
What?
Yeah.
Okay. Well then.
Do you want to take a quick break? Because I'm going to go get a drink.
Yeah. Fuck it.
Yeah.
Fuck.
So we'll take a quick break and we'll be back right now. Ow. That didn't work at all.
Not the smoothest transition.
No, not at all.
Ladies and gentlemen, just a bit of information. During the break, we had our first blood of the podcast.
I foolishly tried to open a bottle using my tried and true technique, but with a thin lighter.
Yeah, they're not
and
great.
Sliced through my finger, and I'm now punctured and bleeding.
Despite the fact that there is a perfectly good dick right there on the corner of the table.
Thanks,
Yeah,
Dara.
that is exceptional.
I'd put it here,
Ah.
waiting for one of you to comment.
Could you open a bottle with your... No.
No, definitely not, Brian.
No, you
Definitely
couldn't.
not. Don't even entertain
A twist
that.
off. Not if you're circumcised. Anyway, let's talk about this
Yeah.
god-awful fucking movie.
Ugh.
We watched... There's me grabbing all the shit.
What's it called again?
Initial D.
Initial D.
It was the first one, as Evan said
For
earlier.
presumably, allegedly, drift. Initial drift, allegedly.
Yeah.
Yeah. Didn't look like it from what we saw of the movie, but
I mean, there was some drifting.
was
wasn't
there?
That much drifting.
It wasn't even
there was
good
a lot
drifting.
of driving that wasn't drifting.
Well,
Anyway, it was directed by Andrew Lau and Alan Mark,
Pardon?
and it was based on the manga by Shuichi Shigeno. And
I
that's
noticed a
it.
drastic difference in how foreign those names sound.
Yeah, that's it. I didn't get any of the actors' names or anything.
Yeah, because fuck them.
I didn't think they deserved
Yep,
it.
Nope.
definitely not. Well, can I just say, this film did not impress, but the first opening scene I actually thought was kind of promising. Right?
I
'Cause,
thought we were in for something.
yeah, they show you all the roads that they're going to race on
Yeah.
at the very start, and they use really good like drone kind of camera angles or something like.
Would have been a helicopter. It's
A
2005.
helicopter,
yeah.
2005, of course. But yeah, they show you all the roads, and some of the roads are like really cool roads, and they're going to drift on, but there's no drifting happening. It's just the roads. And I thought that was really good and really well done. And then it all went horribly wrong, incredibly quickly.
Yeah, because then it moved from that opening scene, which was just a shot of the road for a really fucking long time, to an actual scene that was just the protagonist drifting, or just driving, he did some drifting, on the road. And then
Yeah.
that scene went on for ages. And I was sitting there like, we've already seen the road. You know, why couldn't we have just opened with him drifting on the road?
And all the shots and angles are the same shots and angles, just with him driving.
Yeah. So you're getting a really fucking good, mental picture of what this road is, and you don't need it early on because they show it to you a fucking lot.
It's
Yeah.
the only road that is in the film.
And
Yeah.
no one at any point was driving in the opposite direction.
No.
Never.
One time.
No.
Yeah.
Yes,
When?
actually,
in
one
that
time.
last race,
Later-
was
Yeah.
it?
Later
Because
on.
I kind of
yeah.
missed
The film.
that, so that makes sense.
You didn't miss much, to be honest. It was difficult to tell what was going on.
Yeah.
Just like there was like 3 crashes in this movie, and all of those crashes, it was like, did they crash? I hear a crash, but I don't know what. Someone's
Yeah, because it
phone.
just fucking fades to black and they crash. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah, but also very early on, they start introducing these really weird shots. I would say it's slow-mo, but it's not really slow-mo. It's like if you smashed your camera off the ground and then tried to use it to film something. Where it like slows down, but it's actually like 5 frames a second.
Yeah.
And it's like slowing, and it often slows into a freeze frame.
Yeah.
And
it's-
then it's like just a freeze frame of a character and then a jarring cut.
Yeah.
You know? Like,
Yeah. Just movie making stuff. You wouldn't know.
I wouldn't know. I haven't even turned this fucking camera on.
That's why you're going to be surprised how much like things we film, and it's all just slow motion and weird cuts.
It looked so strange.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It just looked weird.
So it's about a kid who is really good at drifting, but doesn't really care about it.
Yeah, he could not give less of a fuck at how
And
good
at first it's
drifting
like
he is.
oh, that's pretty funny. He's like super bored while drifting, but then it just makes you bored
Yeah.
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
you're like, well, if he doesn't care, why should I give a
Yeah.
shit? Like,
Yeah. And like the stakes increase, but his investment doesn't seem to,
No.
you know?
yeah,
No, he's still just trying to make that tofu, man.
Yeah.
Trying to get that cheese.
there's never
Soy
a bit.
cheese.
There's never a bit where he's like, all right, let's get serious.
No, not at one point.
And you need that. I feel like you need that in
Yeah.
something like this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you introduce a character who doesn't give a fuck, you have to show him eventually giving a fuck, because that's how you know it's go time, it's real.
Yeah.
You know?
Later on in the film, it seemed like he was trying to be good at drifting. And then it would immediately just show a shot of him again looking ridiculously bored. Like
Yeah.
no one could actually be while driving
And
safely or
you know,
anyway at all.
yeah, he's leaning his arm on the door and
He's
like
got his
resting
head-
his
yeah.
head up against his fist, his knuckle, and he's just driving with the one hand, and you're like, that's really dangerous. You're driving so fast. Like,
Yeah.
but again, allegedly, because it doesn't even look like they're going that fast.
Yeah, the shots look like they show you signs where it's like 40, presumably miles an hour. And it's like, probably adhered to.
Yeah.
And there's multiple shots where you like it's like an aerial shot of 2 cars and they're kind of drift racing right? And they're kind of, it shows you the shot between some trees of them like driving towards a big bend, and then it pans across a bunch of fucking trees,
they love
obstructing the view of the actual road while they do the cool drifting.
And you just hear the drifting.
Yeah.
And it's the best part of the track. It's like three U-turns basically.
Yeah,
going down a slope, and they show it to you in that
beautiful bit of road.
Yeah,
man. It's
in
a
that
beautiful
overhead
bit of road.
shot. In that overhead shot at the start of the film, they show you it, and you're like, "Whoa, there's gonna be some drifting on that." No drifting. All obscured by trees.
Yeah, there's never like a bit where they're like, "Oh, here's the big drift," or like they drift sometimes, and you don't really see it that often.
Yeah.
No. There was one really good one at the start. Remember when your man with the awful fucking goatee bit?
Now, I want to preface really quick that none of us have seen the original like anime or read the manga, so maybe it's not really about drifting at all. I just know it from like millions of clips of people drifting in the show.
Yeah.
I really think it could be about making tofu.
It could be.
I think it might be about making tofu, to be honest.
Yeah, hang on, we'll get back to that in a second.
Which, to be
mentioned
fair,
it twice now, so we should
Yeah.
explain
I'm
it. But just
sprinkling it on.
but the fucking guy with the goatee is like driving along at night, and then the guy who's super fucking good at drifting, the main character, drifts around him, and there's like one shot of him like kind of zigzagging on the road, and it's pretty cool. He's like, it looks good, and then they repeat that shot later where he shows up the next day to like a group of lads and is presumably like, who was this amazing drifter? And then it like shows you the shot of him like zigzagging on the road again.
Yeah.
But there's never any drifting that good again.
No.
No.
Never happens again.
No.
Most of the time it looks like they're just racing until the very last race.
Yeah.
Basically.
Yeah.
All the other ones, it looks like they're kind of racing, but it's impossible movement. Like it's been doctored
And
like,
it
really
looks
badly.
It also looks like getting ahead of the other person takes just a stroke of luck. You
Yeah,
know?
yeah,
Like there's
yeah.
no actual skill involved with it. They're just waiting for an opening and they go for it and they're like, hey, look at that, I'm ahead now.
Yeah. Yeah. Now time to look like I don't care.
Yeah, now that I'm winning, I don't give a fuck anymore.
We're talking about the drifting quite a bit and the racing quite a bit. I just want to make it very known that like that's maybe 10% of the movie.
Yes, but it was the only part that we could really pay attention to and
Without wanting to blow your brains all over the wall.
Yeah. Because there was a comic relief fat dude with a bad haircut and ridiculous shirts.
Yeah, who played a part early on
Yeah.
and then just kind of faded into the background.
Yeah, but you can tell that he was, if you understood what was happening, he was the comic relief.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you just hate him.
Yeah.
Basically, from the instant he
It's a
appears.
It's really unlikable.
He crashes every car he gets into, including his best friend's car.
And then when he's in the car with the guy who's really good at drifting and he's drifting away,
He's like puking milk.
Puking milk and screaming like a fucking lunatic, just terrified the whole time. And you're like, but man, you wanted to be a drifter. You've crashed the car like 3 times. How are you this afraid?
And then he goes to work the next day and he's still puking.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. He is still
And
in
it's
there
all
puking.
just milk.
It's all milk.
Yeah.
He drinks a lot
How
of
much
milk.
milk did this guy drink before they went drifting?
We definitely probably did miss out on quite a bit of that joke, because it definitely was a joke, but my god, you just hate him while all of that is happening.
Yeah.
'Cause
Yeah,
you're just
yeah.
like, this is terrible.
Yeah.
The acting is terrible, and overdubs, just dubs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Really
Like-
shitty ones.
like-
This movie's in Cantonese.
But it's like 60s style Western dubs.
Yeah. And it's supposed to be set in Japan. It's really weird.
Yeah.
It's really
yeah,
weird.
it was made by it's a Chinese movie, but it's the original material is from Japan, and the original it's set in Japan. It's a Japanese thing. Why are Chinese making it? That's so weird.
It's payback.
It's
We took your fucking drift manga.
And made it shit.
Fucking explain the tofu, I think.
Okay,
Yeah.
right. Well, right.
This is a theory.
This is a theory, right? Because, right, the main character's father, who's a drunken ass.
well, man
basically.
he lives with. We assume he's his father.
Could just be man he lives with, right? Who's just fucking necking plum wine like no tomorrow, eating.
Something about neck and plum wine.
Yeah, try to make it as Irish as possible. Yeah.
Holding fucking cigarettes in his mouth that he
Yeah.
never seems to ever intend on lighting.
He smokes a few.
He smokes one.
He smokes 2 or 3.
Yeah.
He's smoking one at home one time, and outside one time, and at the last race.
And only ever opens his eyes.
How dare you question the integrity of this cigarette smoking man?
Yeah. He also only ever opens his eyes right before he collapses.
No, Evan, that's no, I'm kidding.
His eyes are so closed over, like ridiculous.
Guys, it's a Chinese movie.
Yeah,
like
God, that took me a minute. I'm actually kind of ashamed.
Yeah, I'm also ashamed. It was low hanging fruit.
We're both. Yeah, good.
But you're right. Like,
yeah, he does. He's always got his eyes closed.
because it's clearly his like drunk face.
Yeah.
But the only time he ever actually opens them wide enough to look like they're open is when he's about to collapse or he's trying to look at some tail. That's it. Like those are the times that he will actually open his eyes.
Yeah, his apartment is littered with porn mags.
Oh hell yeah.
He looks like 45, dresses like he's 30, trying to be 20.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But anyway, he makes tofu. That's like his thing.
Yeah.
Right, while wearing those, Japanese wooden sandal things.
Yeah. I don't know what
And
they're
then
called.
there's just this scene where he scoops up some water that you keep the tofu in. And it's like in this little kind of like porcelain bowl thing. And he puts it in like the drink holder of the main character's car. And then in the following race scene, he's doing just a drift. It doesn't look particularly abnormal. It's just a drift around a bend. And this water is like spinning as if it's a wormhole kind of thing.
yeah, because of the centrifugal force.
And it just like cuts to it. And it's like, whoa, this drift is so rad.
That it makes tofu.
Yeah, because there's all this like floating shit coagulating. And then your man like picks it up and he's like, drunkenness, whatever. And then
I think that's exactly what he said too.
and in all the following scenes, the protagonist is just like racing and drifting all the time.
Yeah.
And the dude has loads of tofu. So I mean,
but that never shows up again. He just kind of has tofu.
They never reference it again, but it is kind of implied, at least visually. We don't know that it's an actual plot element, but it's implied that he's so good at drifting because his dad taught him how to drift so that he could make tofu.
yes,
That's what we got from it. That's how it was interpreted.
there's definitely tofu in that cup.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Being
his dad
created.
definitely taught him how to drift.
Yeah.
So, and his dad makes tofu.
His dad does make tofu.
That's the way it seems. It seems like that's why he's so good at drifting.
It's the only logical.
This movie made me hungry for tofu. Actually, now that I
We've
think
got
about
these
it.
veggie fucking nuggets right here.
Yeah.
They're not bad, actually. They're like vegetable chicken.
Oh man, deep fried tofu is so fucking good. Holy shit.
I've never had tofu.
Oh,
Beast Boy is
I
all
have
about
some,
it, though.
I have some in my fridge. I think.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, Beast Boy loves it, so I've always wanted to try it.
It's
Because
just
I love Beast Boy.
it's soy milk cheese basically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And a crucial plot element in this film.
And yes,
Yeah, very
to
much
this
so.
terrible film.
So, it all comes to a fucking head when he's out drifting one night. Seemingly, he seems to just do it. Like,
Yeah.
Because there are, like, drift races, but he doesn't seem interested in them until he starts to ruffle feathers by just drifting in his own time.
Yeah, he's just going around that same road that we've seen like 6 times already.
Yeah.
And then a random new bad guy just like stops him and is like, drift me, bro.
Yeah. It doesn't even stop him. Just passes him out, like overtakes him, and then he's like, "Oh, can't have that," and then it's on.
Yeah.
Like,
And then they do that same thing where it's like, oh, who is this incredible drifter?
yeah.
And then they have to find him. And one of them pictured this. Dreadlocks.
Yeah.
Studded leather jacket.
Bandana.
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 White bandana.
Yeah.
There's one with a
One with a purple bandana.
Yeah,
The first one who
blue.
appears has a purple.
But I think
bandana.
the crucial thing though is dreadlocks, studded leather jacket
that
like
says
Kiss.
impulsive on the back.
Probably-
that's the blue one. That's the
Yeah.
That's the
impulsive
initial
on
guy.
the back. Probably the least impulsive thing I've ever seen.
Yeah.
It's like Joker with the damage on his forehead.
What'll I wear today?
Yeah.
What'll I wear today while I'm doing my sick drifts? I know. My impulsive jacket. Because I'm so impulsive.
The jacket that I painstakingly wrote impulsive.
And so he appears out of nowhere one night while your man is just drifting for funsies.
Yeah.
And then your man basically drifts him into a car accident.
Yeah.
Right,
Yeah.
your man just crashes into a wall, the guy with the stupid dreads and the jacket.
Drives away looking like he's never given less of a fuck about anything ever.
Yeah,
of
this
course.
is the main guy.
Yeah.
Just leaves him behind like a fucking destruction in his wake.
He's like,
And he's,
probably did.
Yeah, oh, here we go, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
And then,
he doesn't care.
and then later, he's out drifting away, having a good time, and a new fucking, like a new guy shows up, and your man with the dreadlocks is in the passenger seat, so this is clearly his boy.
Yeah, because he also has studded leather jacket.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And a stupid fucking bandana, but his is white, so he doesn't have dreadlocks.
He doesn't have impulsive on his jacket.
No.
It's some Japanese characters.
Yeah,
Really wish he did. Maybe that's impulsive with Japanese characters.
I hope so.
That would
I
be great.
fucking hope so.
Please.
That would be great. But that's the thing as well. Quick aside is that there's Japanese characters in it, and your man's wearing those fucking wooden sandals. So they're not trying to set it in China.
No.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Like
There's Lawson's around as well.
But yeah, that's
it's
right.
shot
Yeah.
in Japan.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because the street signs are all in Japanese.
It's isn't it weird that for once they were like, oh, no one will be able to tell the difference. Sorry. But it's just
Wow.
it's
You'd think
weird.
at this point we'd be less racist.
But that's the thing. It's weird because at this point I can tell the difference, especially when they're speaking. The
Yeah.
language does not sound at all like Japanese.
That's
It's
the
quite
weird thing.
different.
It's definitely set in Japan. They're not Japanese actors. They're Chinese
Yeah.
actors. But like everything else is Japan, and it feels like Japan. And then they're all speaking Cantonese.
Which
and
sounds like bad tribal singing.
yeah,
It
yeah.
does a bit, yeah. There's a lot of
sounds-
like extended syllables, like
Yeah, like,
oh,
Which is exactly like the opposite of
now I'm just
Japanese,
full
which
on
is all
racist.
tight, like da-da-da-da-da-da, like that's Whereas, yeah,
Yeah.
I don't want to do a bad impression of it. But
like
I
Evan
already
just
did. I already did. I took
Yeah.
the bullet.
thank you, Evan.
Well, that's my return visit gone.
This clearly like not speaking Japanese, and it's very jarring.
It is really jarring. Yeah. And they don't
Well,
look
it's a
Japanese.
small-
I mean it when I say that I can
there's
genuinely tell the difference. now.
Definitely
And
a physical difference.
I'm not
as well.
ashamed to say that when we started this podcast, I couldn't.
But
I
it's the same
did
way-
have more difficulty identifying Asian people, but I can now, and so it's weird.
It's the same way like Spanish people and Italian people and German people and Irish people all look different. Like
Yeah,
you can kind of tell
yeah.
sometimes. Sometimes like there's overlap.
Yeah.
It's the same there. Like the
Yeah.
It's like the same template with some different little
yeah.
gimmicks.
Yeah.
Blonde hair. You get the blonde hair. You get the blue eyes.
Yeah,
Okay, you get
yeah.
the curly black.
Oh,
Yeah.
Sweden, you're all blonde hair, blue eyes.
Yeah.
Damn them.
Ireland, you can be whatever, but you're all gonna have ginger beards.
And no chins.
Yeah,
Speak for yourself, Brian.
God damn it, I was going to say that.
That's the thing.
My gin.
That's like a stereotype
Chin.
thing. That's like a stereotype thing. The Irish chin.
Or the lack thereof.
Yeah.
Are you trying to suggest that you're more Irish than us?
But,
'Cause-
yeah, but also, like I know so many Irish people and they all have chins.
Maybe just as like, you know, with the chin you have, you just see chins in a
Oh,
different way. You know?
I was looking at some
Chin
musically. There's some people on that musically cringe stuff that I was watching that
No chin whatsoever.
Oh,
Nothing
like,
to be seen.
absolutely nothing.
Anti-chin?
And I was like, well, I don't feel as bad now.
Yeah, I've seen some Irish people with some shocking lack of chin. Yeah.
Yeah,
It's always
I
sad.
nodded as if anyone could see me.
Yeah.
But I agree.
Yeah. Should I say that? No, it's fine.
Okay. Oh.
It's nothing. I was going to say that my counselor's like that.
Oh.
He's got a lack of chin.
Oh.
And, you know, that sucks. My old principal was like that. Incredibly hard to take her seriously.
Yeah.
She's there trying to yell at you and stuff, and just this big thing is wobbling
Oh.
under his fucking neck. Like, it's
Yeah, I had
not
a
good.
couple of teachers like that.
Yeah.
Bit of that turkey neck going on.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah, it's not great.
Let's stop talking about people's disgusting physical features.
start talking about this horrible film.
Yeah. Is there anything else really to talk about? The music.
Oh, the the music fucking sucked.
Amazing.
And it was hit or miss for a minute because sometimes it fit. But I think that the best way to describe this music is that it all sounds like it came off of like the one Moody Teenagers SoundCloud EP. You know?
Yeah.
Like that's kind of how it sounds. Like low production quality and just really fucking
No, it reminded me of
shit.
like PS2 racing game, like a Japanese PS2 racing game.
bit of Gran Turismo.
Yeah.
But I don't know. It was like spells that were good, and then they were immediately silenced by loud car noises that sounded awful. And then they just don't appear again, and some other new song starts. It's rubbish.
Oh, there's so much screeching in this movie as well.
Yeah. Well, it's drifting.
Yeah.
But it ain't no Tokyo drift.
I haven't watched that one yet.
Neither have I.
I've watched. I'm on 6.
I'm insincere.
I'm on 6, but I'm watching them in chronological order.
Oh,
wow.
The way they're meant to be watched.
That's different, isn't it? Like there's like one.
Here's how
two.
it goes in the Fast and the Furious. This is the chronological order of the Fast and Furious. 1, 2, 4, 5, 6, Tokyo Drift, which is 3, and then 7. 7 ties everything back together in case you were not able to follow, because one of those movies is out of order.
That's so funny.
Well, going into this film that we watched, I was hoping we would get some Fast and Furious Tokyo Drift.
No.
Just a hard no on that one. On all.
Fast and the Furious Tokyo D.
Tokyo
D.
I think initial D is the perfect because you never get like a full drift.
No, you gotta.
You get the D. You get the.
They blue balls you on like almost every single drift.
Yeah, legit. Yeah, and you know what another thing like is that like
also
really...
it's a movie. You can you don't have to be realistic about your drifts. Do some crazy drifts.
Yeah, make that stuff look good.
I never mentioned this during the while we were watching it, right? Because I don't feel that qualified to talk about it because I don't know shit about cars. But your man's car, the main character's car, it looks pretty cool because he's got that cool paint job. But it's kind of shit, right? Like it's a bit of a shit car.
No, it depends on what's in it. Like
I mean, it's like a late 80s, early 90s rally car.
Yeah, so that's the thing. It's just the shape of it looks. And like the build of it looks old. It looks outdated.
Well, the small bit I do know about cars is that it's a back engine, pretty sure car, right?
No, it's front engine.
Front engine.
Damn. Right. Well, screw whatever I had to say.
So you're gonna say the back engine and
because
cars
then
are better.
With a drift, it's like you want to knock out the back.
Yeah.
You know, when you have to turn and then like turn in. You know.
Yeah, but there is a scene where he fixes the engine when his dad fixes the engine for him. That's how we know that he taught him how to drift. And it is a front engine.
You know, it's not about the shape of your car. It's about what's under the hood, man. You know what I'm saying?
It's about your ability to create tofu.
It's like how many cylinder heads does your engine have? I don't know a lot about cars. I'm kind of just guessing.
Hopefully all. I think you have all the cylinders.
I have like 400 cylinder heads.
Can you tell that none of us can drive?
Well, I played My Summer Car. So
yeah, I built a car.
I know how to put together a banger.
Man,
literally exploded.
Yeah, it didn't work.
So, like, are we basically done talking about the film? Because if we are, then we should talk about how the film ends.
Oh yeah.
In order to do that, we first have to talk about his love interest.
Oh right. Yeah, I forgot all about that.
Yeah.
What a snooze fest.
Yeah. Terrible.
Just like there's no substances to this romantic subplot at all.
She appears out of nowhere.
I can't even remember how they get talking. I don't remember how that happens.
She comes from school and he's sitting on the steps.
Yeah, and the fat comic relief guy
looks up her skirt.
Looks up their skirts, like all the skirts of all the girls walking by, and it's real weird and uncomfortable for a minute. And then they start hanging out, and like he's really like shy and like awkward, but like annoyingly so. Like he's not saying anything at all.
He's stuffing his face with food or I don't know, macaroons or whatever the fuck.
Yeah, she's like this real bubbly character that's like, oh, I'm so full of life, hee hee, kawaii, you know, all this nonsense. And then
whatever kawaii is in Cantonese.
Yeah. Something sing-songy anyway. Yeah. But but what happens is he's eating this weird dumpling-looking thing.
Yeah.
They look like sweets, like
but
they're
like
quite
chocolatey
large,
things,
though.
but they're quite
they're like
big.
Yeah, and he's just like stuffing them like he's in competition to eat as many as he can in 30 seconds.
And all the while she's talking to him, and he's like nodding his responses.
Yeah.
Like as if he's contributing to this conversation, and then eventually he just starts choking because he's eaten way too many.
Oops.
Yeah, and then she starts giving him the Heimlich maneuver, but like really poorly. Like the form of it is way off. Like, and then that is presumably why when he eventually coughs up what's in his mouth, it creeps from his lips like real slow, and it's like kind of half chewed, and it just falls really fucking. It's just gross. Like it's not like, you know, usually it's like they give a good foomph and it just goes flying out of their mouths and it's like, oh, you saved me, blah blah blah. But this was just, it was really slow and drawn out. It was not good.
That reminds me, just really quick, going back to my week.
Oh, yeah?
I almost choked on a piece of steak last night.
Oh yeah.
That just reminded me. You know when you're eating like a steak and there's like a bit of sinew or like a bit of fat or something like holding it together?
Yeah.
I swallowed one bit and the rest of it stayed here, but it was still attached. So it just got like stuck in my throat, and I had to do one of those like snatch and grab things.
Yeah.
Where you have to like grab the piece out of your mouth and like pull it out.
Oh no.
Yeah.
That's always so weirdly satisfying. It's
Weirdly
horrible.
satisfying, but like my throat hurt for the rest of the night.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, I can imagine.
And did a random
there was
young lady come and save you?
No, I was on my own. It would have been really sad if someone found me. I was just on my
so
own watching
embarrassing.
Peep Show or something. But what was I gonna say?
The lady, the choking.
The choking, the lady. There was like a split second when it happened where I was like, "Oh fuck, I might die." Like,
Yeah.
this might be where I die.
Well, I'm glad you didn't, because we got to watch this shit fucking film together.
We got to watch a shit film. I got to face my mortality. It's
Yeah.
but yeah. So she.
We're all
So
involved.
the thing with your wand then,
Oh,
right?
she Heimlich maneuvers him and he coughs up his stuff, and then immediately she's like, "Okay, bye."
Yeah, she
Yeah,
like
like,
leaves
leaves.
him standing there on a pier or whatever, right? And then they go to the beach another
She's not
time.
even like, "Are you okay?" She's just.
Wait,
they go.
before the beach, right?
Yeah.
Doesn't she just like appear
at his house.
home?
At his house.
Yeah, she does. He just comes home and she's there.
Yeah, and
Hanging out
like,
with his dad.
Yeah,
And his dad, that's one of the instances of his dad opening his eyes to check her out.
yeah.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah. And she's
That's
wearing
like my
like
dad.
yeah.
My dad commented on how good looking my girlfriend was when I was
Oh,
like
that's
14.
the worst.
It was horrible.
Oh, when you were 14.
Please God, no.
Yeah, man, it was fucked.
No.
It was so horrible.
Ugh. That's the worst.
It was no good.
Shout out to Dara's dad.
Yeah, whatever the fuck you are. Go on. Continue. What are you saying?
Oh, swift left turn.
He comes home and she's there, hanging out with his dad, and it's weird. Like, it's just like, why are you?
Yeah, and the main character is also like, why are you here?
Yeah.
Right? Because that's how fleshed out this whole story is. They were like, how do we make this work? Well, he should probably be weirded out. There's no explanation for this.
Yeah.
Like what?
Yeah. And then, right, during, I believe, like a pretty big moment of tension for him, I think it's during, like, the last race or something, there's just a shot of her, a scene where she's, like, in a hotel room, and she's wearing, like, a bathrobe, and she's talking to this guy who we don't see at all, like, he's pretty obscured, but then it keeps cutting back to the guy who's like replying to her, and he's also wearing a bathrobe and he's smoking a cigarette, and they're just hanging out in this hotel room together, and we're like, oh, she's a whore. So like he paid her for sex or whatever, she's a whore. And then he, like, your man, the main character, finishes the race, wins the race, everything's great, right? And then he shows up home, he's like walking to meet her or something. And he sees her getting out of the car with your man, and he like gives her a kiss and a hug, and Then the main character gathers from this. Oh, she's a whore, and then he runs away. He like sprints up the road, goes home.
He drives in his car, and the tears are like.
Oh yeah, the tears are like so he's driving so fast that the tears are streaming down towards his ear, right?
Yeah, and as he ran to the car, she was running after him, and then she just burst into tears too, and she's like, "Wah!"
Yeah, like collapses on the ground.
Can I just
why
say,
are you crying?
Yeah.
I know this goes against the podcast a little bit, but while I was doing my research, this isn't any confirmation of anything, but I saw, do you know in Wikipedia the way some words show up in blue?
Yeah.
Because they're links?
Yeah.
I saw the word sugar daddy. So
okay,
it's pretty much confirmed.
Interesting.
Right, yeah.
So it's all true. It's
Yeah.
all true.
Yeah.
So
literally a whore.
but then
Confirmed.
Then he like drives
Facebook confirmed.
He drives and drifts for a while, and then he goes home where his dad has like prepared him a nice meal to celebrate that he's the best drifter.
And his dad's cleaned up as well.
Yeah, his dad doesn't look drunk. And then his dad, he storms to his room, and his dad follows him to his room, and then he comes out, and his dad pretends to be drunk, so that he'll like have to help him or whatever, and he falls back onto the ground. Then he steps on his dad's balls, right? Walking down the hall.
Now that you say that out loud, like in a sentence, just highlights how he steps on his dad's balls. It sounds like a fetish thing.
I just want to give the exact run of events here, right? Then he steps on his dad's balls. He walks down to the kitchen. He makes 2 phone calls.
Two. Why?
2 phone calls.
Very short.
Right. Then he goes out and drifts a little bit.
Into the sunset.
And it's over.
No. But before he drifts off into the sunset, he looks at his dad, and then it cuts to his dad, and his dad is giving him a little grin as he puts another cigarette in his mouth, and then it goes back to the main character, and he's just grinning then as well.
Yeah, it's just like it just cuts to his dad, and his dad's like, ha 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 ha, and it's
what
like,
a funny joke!
You're right.
Your girlfriend was a whore.
And then he drives into the sunset, and it's like, why is there a sunset?
Why
any of this?
And why leave it like? Why is the resolution to this story? He did it. He's the best drifter. Shame his girlfriend's a whore. That's the end. That's the end of this story. Like that's what it's left on.
Well, I did say, bro, you're a champion drifter right now. There's a whole ocean.
That's
that
true.
Actually just
That's true.
Yeah.
There were maybe that's why there's a sunset. Maybe that's why
there was a lot of girls at those races. One of them kissed his dad, which his dad wasn't fucking doing anything.
No, as if.
So
like,
can you imagine if you were
congratulations.
drifting?
Yeah,
They might not just kiss you.
Also, his dad was weirdly portrayed as a pussy magnet throughout the entire thing. Although the first time you see it, it seems like he's just
old and creepy.
Yeah, or at a lap dance club or something.
Oh yeah, he's at a hostess club.
Yeah.
But that's but when he's in that scene where he's in that club, he's with some guy that I don't recognize from any other part of the film. I don't know where else he comes into it. He might have been the guy who owns the thing.
That's who he was.
Yeah.
Who he does nothing either. Really.
No, nothing.
No.
The thing, by the way, is an automobile shop. He fixes up cars, and the main character works in it cleaning cars.
And all the scenes there are boring.
Yeah, basically. I think we've kind of hit on everything.
That's the whole film. The ending is trash. The middle is trash.
In the interest of politeness, Evan, we'll start with you. Would you watch this movie again with subtitles?
Absolutely not.
Oh.
I might
What a
watch
surprise.
snippets. I might watch the comic relief character parts.
Just
See
to
if
see
they're actually funny.
To see if they are actually funny. But it does seem like it might be that shit tier I used to be on SNL.
Oh,
movie
actually,
comedy.
I want to say this. If anyone listening to this knows what the Initial D soundtrack is in the original anime, it's a kind of iconic. Deja vu, Eurobeats,
Yeah.
all that stuff. Super iconic. Not in this movie at all.
Not a
single reference to it.
Not even a note.
Yeah, no. All the chords are entirely different in this movie. Assumedly.
I don't think they use traditional Western music. It's a different scale. They're using some Hindi shit or something.
But yeah.
Definitely not. It's electronic.
Yeah, I wouldn't watch this movie again with
No,
subtitles.
me neither.
I
No.
don't care.
No. Fuck it.
Um,
Shit.
Yeah.
Done.
I might watch Initial D though.
Like the shot.
Kind of want to start watching that now. Yeah.
I also wouldn't watch that.
I've heard it's good.
I've seen that it's not. Based off of this. This is This is the only instance I've ever
Based
heard
off
of this
of
thing
this
in
movie
existence,
that
and
any-
it's garbage.
That every fan of Initial D has disowned.
Yeah.
All in all, I rated a no out of yes.
That's a good rating system. I think I agree.
Yeah. We might employ that in future. That's
Yeah,
good.
that's good.
Yeah.
So we'll take a break and get into emails.
Yeah,
I
'cause
need
I
to
gotta
pee.
piss. Yeah. Cool.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Ah!
Whoa. Whoa. I don't know. I was going to continue that. Didn't really work. So we're into emails now,
Yeah.
which brings us to our special segment.
You played. Oh shit! You just went straight minor.
Emails.
You minor males.
Oh, this is for all you minor males out there.
I'm going to put down the guitar now.
Right.
All right. We have an email from Barry, luckily.
Word from Barry, ladies and gentlemen. Thanks for writing in early, bro.
Yeah, I wasn't sure if we'd have an email.
Yeah, worked out really fucking well.
Yeah, so thank you very much, Barry.
Barry always comes through.
Barry does always come true.
I would actually like to go back and see how long it has been since Barry has not written an email,
I
to
think
be
he's
honest.
written in almost every episode we've done.
Yeah, which we massively appreciate. Thanks for that, man.
And he opens with the subject line is, I'm just making sure I can be heard properly. The secret to growing a beard is never learning how to shave.
I never really learned how to shave. Look at how untamed this is.
You know what? That sentence kind of made me feel sort of stupid. Like, damn, why didn't I think of that?
Why did I learn to shave?
It's like I hit some age and my dad was like, here's a razor.
Here's
You
a
fucked
razor
up.
and a list of instructions. here's a razor and a WikiHow article.
Yeah. Don't slit your throat.
How do I shave though? Google it. Google it.
My dad taught me how to shave.
Sure,
the
you
stash.
kids all have the Google nowadays.
My dad was always like, for years, he was like, don't let Brendan teach you how to shave. I want to teach you how to shave. That's like a father-son thing, right? And then I grew like a horrible fucking puby stash.
Oh, yeah.
And he was like, you cannot have that anymore. And so he was like, he taught me how to shave the stash off, right? And then I stopped going down to my father's house. And no one ever taught me any of this, the other bit. And now I have a lot of it, and I don't know what to do with it. I
I'll
have a
teach
really
you.
hard time keeping it
I'll
trimmed.
teach you, son.
Thanks, Dad.
Live on the next podcast.
Oh, please.
Fantastic.
Oh, we can film it with your camera.
Yeah, we could film
I'll
it.
teach you how to
It would be
shave.
Oh my god, it's the whole thing.
That would be amazing.
But
But you have to get on your knees so you're like down lower than me, like an actual
So
child.
I have to. So you're saying I should like try and play it off as if I'm an actual child, despite the fact that I
Despite the
have
fact that you have, like-
significantly more facial hair than you.
It always happens, son. One of us, you wake up and you've got a full beard. Anyway,
I'm still waiting for that day.
now that we've gotten past the subject line,
Sorry, Barry.
thank God this is in quotes. Thank God you're still here, Barry. Haha, you will never exorcise my wordy ghost. I, like Brian, watched the first 3 seasons of Bleach and no further. Borrowing his DVDs, in fact. Yes. he
Yeah,
did.
and you only returned it when he came over to
When
do
he came
this
to do the
episode.
podcast. I gave them to him in like secondary school. It was a fun romp. Screaming colors are most of what I want, especially when I was 16. I also had my favorite phenomenons for a story, where I can't pick one favorite character. So I have a short list of 5, in no particular order, if memory serves. Cat Ninja, Hat Man, Eye Patch, the more interesting female classmate, and Chad. I know all of the characters that he just mentioned, and they're all good.
I know Chad.
You know Hat Man,
Which one is Hat Man?
the guy with the boonie hat.
Oh shit,
The
that's
stripy
right.
hat.
Yeah.
Cat Ninja didn't show up in this in the movie.
I think of Hat Man as Kurt Cobain.
The more interesting female classmate didn't. Yeah. yeah.
You'd see it if you saw it, man. He looks like Kurt
I
Cobain.
better watch it then.
The more interesting female classmate shows up in the movie for like a second, but doesn't do anything. But she's good in the show.
She also doesn't have massive titties, I bet.
In the show, also though, I don't think she does.
Really? Okay. Well,
But she
then
does,
I'm
like,
glad
judo.
they kept it true.
She's like actually like fights and stuff.
Okay, that's cool.
But I got the exact same thing watching Full Metal. We're back to Barry now. I'm not just saying this.
Yeah.
But I got the exact same thing watching Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood. Armor Boy, personification of greed, Lion Man, explosion arm Muslim, and Armstrong. These are great lists.
What's great about these lists, by the way, is that these are the kind of names that we would come up with for characters if we were watching the films. But Barry is watching those series in English. He could just easily learn the names.
Exploding arm Muslim is my personal favorite.
I like personification of greed because that's exactly what that character is. That is not hyperbole at all. And that show is, a coherent and satisfying narrative told beginning to middle to end in a reasonable period of time. I gotta get back and rewatch that. It's been fucking years. I finished it, if you couldn't tell. A+ anime. Still, though, Führer, that never stopped sounding weird. Damn it, Dara, read Skullduggery Pleasant. It's still super goddamn good. I'm normally adverse to ending a story and then just starting it back up again. Especially since the ending was pretty much perfect. But as we found out when we interviewed him, Landy intentionally withheld a few things as season 1 was ending. So there would still be stuff in season 2. I'm definitely still enjoying the yearly ritual of buying and reading through them. For the most recent one, I read the last 100 pages in one sitting. In conclusion, purple lightsaber is best. Knights of the Old Republic let me live out my childhood dream of waving a purple lightsaber in one hand and a red one in the other. Vom vom, motherfuckers. P.S. More like Mark Zuckerberg.
That's great.
P.P.S. And then in bold, like dark black letters, get woke, Scully.
Very good. Very good.
Thank you so much, Barry.
Thank you very much. So on the Skullduggery Pleasant thing,
yes.
I probably should go back and read those because
I think I have the last few.
Yeah. Well, I would love to borrow them. Thank you.
Yeah,
but first I should read the one Emmett gave me and give that back to him. But
yeah,
you know what? I'll fucking give it back to you if you ever actually invite us onto your podcast.
Oh shit,
Emmett!
The gauntlet has been thrown.
Yeah, and I bet you're not even gonna fucking listen to this, so you'll never hear it. But Barry can tell you. But I should read Skullduggery Pleasant because I've decided over the last 2 weeks that for Halloween I think I'm gonna paint my face as a skeleton and maybe dye, like get that white hair dye, because I've got a black wide brim hat and I've got a black suit. And I'm like, oh yeah, I like costumes I already own. That's like that's a thing that I'm into.
Oh, I'm doing. If I have to dress up for Halloween, I'm doing Canada from Akira.
Oh yeah, you definitely should.
I've got the jacket, and then I have the white shoes.
Yeah. We should do a
jeans.
thing. We should do a Halloween thing.
I think
it would be good crack.
I think it would be a shame to only wear that red jacket at Halloween.
No, because it makes me look like Michael Jackson. We've been through this.
Brian, maybe you look good as Michael Jackson.
Definitely not.
My housemates are actually apparently super. Jason and his girlfriend, whose I think name is Amber. So he calls her my missus, right?
Yeah,
so
yeah.
they apparently do a thing every Halloween that they're like really into. So maybe we could have a little thing at my gaff. We could take pictures for the pod.
Yeah,
it'd be dope, man.
I don't do Halloween, so I'm gonna pass. No, you didn't even ask, which is fine.
I kind of felt like you wouldn't do it anyway, so it's fine.
I don't do dress-up kitties.
I love doing dress-up.
I love doing dress-up.
Yeah.
I never do it enough.
One of my faves was we went to a party once when I was like 17 maybe, and it was like a party in Alex's house, but Anna May was hosting it. It was for Halloween, and Anna May was like really fucking strict that everyone had to wear a costume. She messaged me about it and all, and I didn't have a costume planned, so I wore the fur coat that I wear to Electric Picnic. I wore a fedora, and I had a piece of string around my neck with a piece of, like a bit of cardboard on it that said Party King, and then I had a pocket watch in my pocket, and I was walking around to people being like, "Hey, do you know what time it is?" And I'd like click the watch open, and there was just a piece of paper taped to it that said party time. That was my costume.
That's good. That's good.
A lot of fun.
You sound like a frat boy at Halloween.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. Shame you don't do beer even.
You don't drink at all.
Just like swinging the pocket watch around.
The Party King is stone cold sober. I just love to dance.
What else did he touch on there towards the end? He mentioned another thing that I wanted to comment
Get woke,
on.
Scully.
No.
Purple lightsaber.
Purple lightsaber. It is the purple lightsaber. Thank you.
Oh yeah, we were talking about. I was wondering where that came in.
Yeah,
and now
we were
I
talking about
I never
lightsaber
remember
fights
what we
last
talk
week.
about on these things.
It's because you drank. Because fucking the thing about the purple lightsaber.
Call out. Brian, we're worried about you.
It happens. Look, while
Hey, whoa.
he's a guest, Brian, and he's drinking with you. You just drink with me. But fucking with the purple lightsaber, I don't think it's the coolest aesthetically, but it definitely has the coolest story behind it.
Yeah.
And the reason that Samuel L. Jackson's lightsaber is purple is because they asked him to do Star Wars, and he came in and was like, I would love to do Star Wars. And he was like, setting it up and everything. And then he goes to George Lucas. He's like, could my lightsaber be purple? And George Lucas is like, like, you're a good guy. Like, they're usually just like, they're green or they're blue, you know? And he's like, I want mine to be purple. Because I want to be able to see me flipping around. When it's like a real wide shot of an action scene, I want to be able to point and be like, that's me there, I'm on that one. And he got it, because he's Samuel L.
That's
fucking
great.
Jackson.
Yeah, obviously.
I heard he got it written into contract, actually.
Yeah.
Like he was like actually way more bold with it and was like, yo, I think this film is not good, but I'll do it if I can get paid loads of money and have a purple lightsaber. That's what I heard. Allegedly.
Well, I feel like he does a lot of shit films and surely knows they're shit.
Yeah.
But just does it for the crack.
Oh,
he
definitely.
stands by Snakes on a Plane so hard. Have you seen him be asked about it
Yeah,
in
I'd stand by it.
interviews?
That movie's great. That's a classic.
I haven't even seen it, but just
Well,
based off of the...
you haven't even seen it.
I've seen the clip, Brian.
Oh, you're just going to assume that
I've
Snakes on a
had it
Plane is bad.
With these motherfucking snakes on this motherfucking plane. I've seen that.
But you haven't
Dara.
seen the masterpiece that's built around that line.
I might be able to change your mind right here. Right?
Here we go.
Because there's one scene where a young couple, eager to join the Mile High Club, naked in the stall,
Yeah?
and your one gets bitten in the titty by a snake.
And you're telling me that's not awesome.
I'm telling you, that is awesome.
That's fucking hilarious. That
Yeah.
actually does sound amazing. I'm looking
Classic.
at it.
Instant
Actually,
classic.
from what I remember, I really don't think the people making Snakes on a Plane were that serious about it.
Yeah, I can
way.
imagine not. Yeah.
It's a good movie. I
Yeah.
like Snakes on a Plane. It's a classic. It's one of those early 2000s movies.
I also
It's-
haven't watched it. I've just seen that scene.
Really? Man, it's a good movie.
So
There's so many
I need to
snakes.
stop
Full of
admitting.
shit. Evan, is that what you were gonna
I need to
say?
stop admitting to this shit.
There's so many snakes on a plane, on a plane, on the plane. That's
Deep lane.
on the plane. There's a bunch of snakes on that plane.
Are you Sean Paul on deep lane?
So many snakes on the plane.
Right. Should I play the bullshit theme? We don't have any. So
Are you sure?
do we
I
look?
thought you had
We'll
some.
think of some. It's fine. 1 second.
Bye, Dara.
See you after, lads.
Hello there.
Okay.
I'm not gonna even bother.
Yeah, don't. I was
No.
hoping you wouldn't, to be
No.
honest. Bullshit for Brian. Bullshit for Brian. Hair like a lion. A curly haired lion. Bullshit for Brian. Bullshit for Brian. Evan's here too. It's time for bullshit for Brian. Fantastic.
Burping with Brian. That's the new segment.
That's the soothing ASMR segment.
Oh, come on, lads.
All right, this is whoa. Take a step back.
Okay.
I'm over here now.
What the fuck?
Over here.
What the fuck are we gonna talk about? The only thing that.
Oh, I have a thing on lightsabers
Okay.
from like the extended stuff from like playing video games that I found out years after watching those movies. There's yellow lightsabers too.
Yep.
Yeah, which
Yeah.
seems weird.
Does seem weird.
Doesn't seem right when you see it. You're like, that looks like a bootleg. But no, they're all over the place in like the games.
They're
That's
some
so
of the
crazy.
coolest ones.
No,
I think so.
no, they don't. Look
I think
cool.
yellow-
They were never in the movie. So
They don't-
also green
But
is
it
the
was
coolest.
in the extended canon, Brian.
But green is cooler though than yellow.
No, green is
Green
like
is the best color.
Ooh, I like Luke.
What's everyone's
Skywalker.
favorite color?
I don't mind green.
Green's my favorite color.
But you see,
As you can tell
Yoda
by
kind
the
of ruins
walls.
green for me in the prequels when he's flipping about like a fucking lunatic.
But Qui-Gon had green and he was
Yeah,
okay.
Qui-Gon fucking suck.
I haven't watched those movies since I was a child.
Qui-Gon Jinn.
Yeah?
Qui-Gon Jinn is the worst character ever written. That's not true, but he's awful. He's a fucking terrible character, and I don't care that he's Liam Neeson. He sucks, right? Qui-Gon Jinn just finds a kid and is like, oh, I sense great power from this young one. And then the Jedi Council is like, we sense insane evil from that young one. And he's like, no, man, it's going to be fine. I'm going to take him on. He's going to be dope. And then he dies. Then he just dies. And then that kid becomes Darth Vader.
Yeah, but
That's what happens.
No. But he didn't really say good, though. He said something balance to the Force.
Yeah, he said he was going to bring balance to the Force.
Yeah.
Which he did,
He
by
did.
providing an ultimate evil.
Yeah.
And then he killed
Balance.
the Emperor.
Yeah. But
balance.
But that's the thing, though, is that he's supposed to be providing balance to the Force, but the Emperor already exists. So isn't there already balance in the Force?
No, because
Because there's clearly already a Sith.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Like the bad side of the Force exists.
Yeah, exactly. And the
They
Jedi
throw around
are
Also-
weak.
They throw around this bring balance to the Force term as if there is a definite weight on either side that they can, calculate. But there
Yeah.
isn't. Like, you cannot bring balance to the Force. Based off of the way that they describe the Force, it's even in the later films, like the newer ones, they describe it as if it's just like, it is the connection between everything in existence.
Yeah.
So there's already a balance to that.
Here's the problem with that, Laura. From a point, there's never balance in the Force because they need to keep making movies. So now that they've made the new movies, Darth Vader kills the Emperor and saves everyone, and it's all great. But then, no, the Sith are still back, and also there's just a new guy now.
Yeah.
And this Force is unbalanced again, I guess. And then when it all gets done this time, they're going to be in 20 years' time, we could still make some money from this by bringing it back. And then you just bring it back again. And then none of it ever matters with these type of things.
The real problem is that the Phantom Menace is garbage.
Oh,
Pure
yeah.
garbage.
Absolutely.
Absolute garbage.
Absolutely.
Total garbage.
And I
Probably
think-
the worst of them. And there's some terrible films in there.
I think you're judging the intricacies of the balance of the Force thing too harshly, because
It comes
the
from
Phantom Menace is pure trash.
Yeah, that's fair. Do you know Mr. Sunday Movies?
Yeah.
He stands by...
Shout out to Mr. Sunday Movies.
Yeah, he's great. He stands...
If you haven't watched him, actually do check him out.
Yeah.
He's really, really good.
Yeah, really good YouTube videos and podcasts.
Caravan and Garbage in particular is a
Yeah.
lot of fun.
But he fucking... He will claim to the death that Attack of the Clones is the worst Star Wars film. And the reason for that in his mind is because they'd already released Phantom Menace and they should have known better.
That's
he was
pretty
like,
good.
they had an opportunity to fix it and they didn't.
That's
and
pretty
then
fair.
That's why Clone Wars is the worst.
I love that angle.
Yeah, that's
also-
really good.
General Grievous is one of the worst characters.
He
ever.
was in Revenge of the Sith. He wasn't Attack of the Clones.
Yeah, he was.
No, he was Revenge of the Sith.
No, he was in the
No,
second
no.
one.
No, he wasn't. He was in the third one.
No, you're right. He was in Attack of the Clones, I'm pretty sure.
No,
Are you sure?
I'm 100% sure.
What
that he
happens
wasn't.
in Attack of
Because
the Clones?
Attack of the Clones has Jango Fett.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
no,
that
you're right.
was-
You are
And
right.
Count
Really,
you are
Dooku
right.
versus Yoda.
Yoda. Yeah.
That one.
General Grievous shows up in.
And it's just General Grievous is like a brief fight between Obi-Wan and General Grievous, and General Grievous looked like he could have been really fucking cool.
And was super lame.
Yeah, it's super lame.
It's like, oh, he looks super cool, so let's give him dodgy hearts.
Yeah, but that's
But
what
he's
that's
a robot.
That's what
What?
the fucking that's
Yeah.
what the prequels. It's what Star Wars is famous for. Is really cool looking characters that you could have done something with, but you didn't. Darth fucking Maul.
10 minutes of screen time.
Yeah.
Darth Maul.
Do you? Spoiler alert.
It's
For
the
Solo.
films are really
No, not that one. Does anyone here care about Solo?
Why would
No.
I ever care
No.
about any
Definitely
new
not.
Star Wars
Right.
movie?
Well, then spoiler alert for Solo if you haven't seen it, like I haven't. Right, skip a few minutes, I guess. But Darth Maul's in it. Darth Maul is in Solo. He's the villain. He's like
Oh,
the
God.
surprise villain. And apparently he again is in it for like 10 fucking
Does he have
minutes.
cyborg legs?
I don't know if he does. Maybe he does.
Because there was a thing in the Clone Wars where Darth Maul came back and he had like a spider body.
Yeah, and Mr. Sunday Movies also talked at length about that, and he says that he dies in it, and that his death is like really unceremonious, and it's kind of great, but it's ridiculous because they like hype it up for like an entire season. It's like Darth Maul's on his way. He's coming to get Obi-Wan for what he did to him. He's got these robot legs, blah, blah, blah. And then Darth Maul finally gets there and there's a really cool moment where the fucking ship is like opening and he like walks out and he's like holding the lightsaber and then he steps forward and Obi-Wan just slices him in half. And it's over.
God damn.
It's a bit like there's a scene similar in Dragon Ball GT where Frieza and Cell show up, and Goku just like one hits them.
Frieza's the one in your Twitter profile, right? Is that Frieza? Which one's that?
That's from Yu Yu Hakusho, an entirely different anime.
I don't know anime, Brian. I think we've established that.
Yeah, but you've been hanging out with me for like a year, Dara.
I've been hanging out with you for several. I've also been hanging out with Oshin.
I'm surprised you don't know
like
Dragon
12.
Ball at this point. It's like 90% of what I talk about. I have some bullshit, actually. I got ID'd today.
Yeah, you did.
Outrage.
You are really outraged. You're weirdly outraged.
I wasn't outraged. It's weird. I don't get ID'd ever.
How could someone
like
at
I just
chin?
I never get,
and I did that.
I never get ID'd. I just don't. But it's not the fact that I got ID'd that like pisses me off. It's the fact that I was buying drink that like no teenager would ever buy.
or a teenager that really wanted to make it seem like he was definitely over 18.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Just
but
pretending, just like, yes, I would like some Club Havana, please. and some San Pellegrino.
Yeah.
For some reason.
No, kids aren't buying Club Havana and San Pellegrino.
What if you're just really nervous and have too much money for that age?
You see, the thing is, right, I was
That's very
recently,
true.
I recently bought alcohol for Finn in Aldi without being ID'd, right? And I'd say, yeah, Aldi are super fucking strict on it. And
Yeah.
I think that it's a combination of two things, right? One, the dude who was like ringing me up was clearly about to close the till and was like desperate to get away before someone else joined the queue. So I think there was that. And also, I think that the fact that I don't really give a shit at all whether or not the alcohol gets purchased, I think that's picked up, you know?
Yeah.
I throw it down on the conveyor belt along with my bread and my milk. And they're like, you know what, I bet this guy with his fucking beard is probably over 18.
Yeah.
Yeah. But if you act nervous, I think they
But
sense
like,
it.
look at my mustache. Is this the mustache of a teenager?
It's not. No,
No,
it's too
not
dark.
at all.
It's too thick.
Are these the sad, hopeless eyes?
Actually, I also have some bullshit, right?
Okay,
So
good.
I was in the same shop. This is a while ago.
Aldi.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I was just buying just random food stuff, right? And I got some sriracha sauce, cause delicious. And
I also got some sriracha sauce from Aldi.
Literally, cause this, and I don't just say that out of nowhere, right? Cause I got to the checkout and there was a dude right behind me with just a bottle of bourbon, just a bottle, just a 70cl, and I didn't know the guy or whatever. And I go up and I'm just buying my stuff, and puts all my stuff on the till, checks it through, and then he puts his bourbon on, and then it's like, oh, I need your ID, both of you. And I'm like, what? Sorry? Well, what? And it's like, I need both your ID. It's like, no.
That's insane.
Yeah,
I'm
I
not
was
with
like,
this gentleman.
I am buying like hot sauce and food.
Yeah.
He is buying just a 70cl of bourbon. What could coincide with those two things? I'm not just living with him or something and buying him food. It's like, yeah, man, you get 70cl this week. I'll buy some food.
Was he?
By the
Was,
groceries.
how
Like,
old?
what
How
are you
old was this
talking
guy
about?
who was buying the bourbon?
He might have been like a year older than me. Like admittedly, we looked a similar age group.
Okay.
But look at what's on the goddamn
Yeah.
belt.
And not just that, but you can
You're not going to a
definitely
party.
fucking tell.
No.
You can definitely tell by two people standing in a queue whether or not
Yeah.
they know each other.
But the reason I think she asked, right, is because I had this bottle of sriracha, right, and he was just standing beside it, and he was like, damn, because bottles of sriracha, they just look really good, right? And he was just there looking at it for ages, and I was like, just staring at that bottle of sriracha, man. He's really intrigued by the sriracha. And then he was just like, is that nice? And I was like, I haven't tried it yet. I'm just buying it for the first time. It's like, oh, cool.
That's definitely
looks really good. And I was like, I need both your IDs. And it's like,
God damn it.
why?
Did he get his bourbon?
I have no idea. But
did you give her your ID?
I fucking didn't.
Good.
I was like, no, you're not
ID?
getting my ID. Sure.
Can you prove you are who you say you are?
I've been advised not to answer that question.
Yeah, I don't know. I tend not to get ID'd anymore, and
That's really fucking annoying, actually.
what, because I don't.
Because I 100% look older than you.
You do, yeah, you genuinely do. Yeah, you definitely
And
do.
I get ID'd at fucking everywhere.
Yeah. But there, again, like, though, I do think it depends on the day. Like, how fucked up am I? Because if I look fucked up, I look like withered and old. And
I'm usually stone cold sober when I'm trying to buy stuff like that.
Yeah, you don't want to go into a shopping on a shopping trip not sober or even hungry for that matter.
Do you know what else?
Yeah.
You want to be like well fed and completely sober going into like Aldi.
Yeah. Do you know what else I think contributes is the fact that I am frequently in Aldi, just doing like my full grocery shop for the week, and like, you know, I'll walk in my work uniform, having just finished work, with my shopping bag, which is here under this desk, because I keep it in my rucksack, you know.
Good idea.
Like, I walk in clearly just a grown-up looking to buy his fucking shit. You know?
Yeah.
All right. He's got his strats.
Yeah.
you can buy my drink next time.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. It's weird. Like, because like now walking into pubs, I'm a lot more confident walking into pubs lately. Just stroll in and act like you're supposed to be there. People probably won't say anything.
Yeah, that definitely works. The guy ended up giving me the drink after.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was just like, I'm 23, like obviously I am.
Yeah.
And he was like, put the cameras, and I was like, no. And someone there knew who I was as well, so they were like, it's cool. But then as I was leaving, he was like, don't forget to carry your ID with you, and I was like, I'm not gonna do that.
Yeah.
I have got ID'd once since I turned 21. Like,
Just the thought of you going, yeah, no. But the cameras. No
to your objection.
they will look at me and see the aura of shame.
For what it's worth, I fucking hate IDing people, but I have to do it all the time.
Yeah, but you work in a vape shop. That's kind of different.
Anyone.
No one ever died from drinking alcohol.
But they're always hyping it up to us, right? That's good. They're always hyping it up to us, being like, they could send a fucking secret shopper who's just like a 15-year-old kid, and they've sent him in there to ask for a thing, and if we give it to him, we're fucked. Basically, they tell us this all the time, and what they tell us as well is that our shop is like one of the 2 busiest ones in the entire franchise. So like we would be a prime target, you know.
Who's sending these kids? When I was a 15-year-old kid, no policeman ever approached me asking me to go into a shop and buy something.
But it wouldn't be policemen. There's like a fucking board or some shit. Like there's people.
Never have any of those people showed up.
Do you know do you know why it is? It's because they're fucking all on our asses with regulations for vaping, because they're like, oh, we can't tax you on it, so we're gonna make sure it's safe. By making sure that you can't have a tank bigger than 2 mils. Your fucking iPad is just listening to what I'm saying again.
That's so weird.
Yeah, this is the 2nd week in a row it's done this.
Yeah, it is legitimately like, stop.
Goddamn iPad.
Don't
Yeah,
do that.
it's fucking creepy. I don't like it. But yeah, so that sucks. And there's loads. Like, there was one day the other week where I was in the back doing like a stock take. And I was in the back, like, counting bottles, moving bottles, making them all easy to count, because we had to do a whole take of everything in the shop. It took hours. And the area manager, Jenny, was in the back with me, and she was, like, set up at the desk typing away on her laptop or whatever. And we could hear Mikey, my manager, out the front.
Yeah.
And it was one of the days that the ploughing was on. So there was a fucking, like, a whole load of young kids, like, just about the town, who were trying to get vape for €35. Right, they had €35, presumably all pooled together, and they sent each and every one of them in their group of friends in individually, being like, "Oh, what vapes do you have for €35?" And we could hear, me and Jenny could just hear my manager Mikey being like, I need ID, man. You may leave. And they get out of my shop. And then they'd leave. And then eventually, like, a grown man comes in. He's like, how ya? What vapes do you have for €35? And he's like, did those lads out there ask you to come in? He's like, yeah, they did, yeah. And he's like, yeah, man, they're underage. I can't sell you the vape. He's like, oh, Jesus, I didn't even know that. I was wondering why they couldn't come in. Like, and we were listening to this all day long.
That's so funny.
It was ridiculous.
That guy sounds like the worst guy at playing stupid.
It was one time that I was in Dublin Street, right, the quieter shop, and I was in there, and these two young lads come in, same fucking deal. They come in being like, what vapes do you have for €35? I'm like, I can't sell you a vape, right? So they leave, right? And then I'm sitting in that fucking quiet shop, and they must have been like right outside the door, but I can hear them. It's echoing into the shop, and it's like really loud. I can hear them propositioning a grown-up to come in and buy the vape and like telling them what to say, telling them what liquid to get. And then I had to just walk to the front door and like peek out, and just, like they were like right beside me. And I just looked out and was like, sorry, excuse me, sir, I can't sell you that vape. And then he was like, oh, all right. And he gave him back the money and walked on. And I was like, lads, you're not getting a vape today. Just fuck off. It's not happening.
Leave me alone.
Who are all these adults who are like, yeah, sure?
Yeah, like, who is so willing?
People just do not give a fuck is the thing.
But like, it's weird, right? Because sometimes I get people coming in like who are clearly underage, and they're asking for like, they're like, yeah, can I just get Carol's 18? And I'm like, do you know what, man? You could probably do with it. If you're on Carol's 18, you're smoking too much. Like you should be on the vape, but I can't sell it to you. So please get out of here.
That's so ridiculous, man. Why do they all want vapes so badly?
Because it's the new smoking. You know how we would like sneak out and smoke, and we'd be like, oh, we're getting away with something. And then suddenly we were addicted to
sneaking
smoking.
out for a vape is so much lamer.
But it's not, because you can take videos on Snapchat of you doing a cool trick and send it to all your friends, and then they're like, oh, you're so cool. Instead of just having to like smoke outside and be like, I bet everyone thinks I'm real cool. You can send them a video of you being real cool, and then they'll be like, oh, you're so cool.
When I was a teenager smoking, I was never like, I bet everyone thinks I'm cool. I was like, man, I'm addicted to nicotine.
I kept it a secret for like 5 years. I smoked in secret for like 5 years because I didn't want my friends always being like, because do you know why I kept it a secret? Was you two. You two were the reason that I kept my smoking a secret.
That's hilarious.
Because I didn't want to be like Yee and have everyone constantly be like, I didn't want everyone, all of my friends being like, Jesus, well, you always fucking smoking, man. You gotta quit smoking.
So really, you didn't want everyone to know that you were smoking because of what people said to us, not because of
us. But you guys were the example that I was like, I don't want to be in that position. So fuck that.
Yeah, and all of those people ended up smoking, by the way.
Yeah, because that's what happens.
Yeah.
So that's how that goes.
I remember our shop. Do you remember? It's gone now, so I can say the name. Blake's.
Ah, yes.
Fucking
infamous
classic. One. Best chicken curry rolls in the country.
Ooh, chicken curry roll. That sounds good.
Sounds like a mess.
Have you not tried it?
Delicious mess. I've had it.
Oh man, and their chicken goujons used to be so good.
They were actually pretty good, yeah.
Yeah, but also I'd walk in there in my school uniform and be like, "Packet cutter's choice, please," and he'd be like, "Here you are, my good man, my clearly underage good man," and I'd be like,
"Hey, just because he's wearing a uniform doesn't mean he's not 18."
And then they got shut down.
And boxes of fags used to be 420.
Boxes of fags used to be fucking 420.
And then the government
shot all over that.
Now anytime I want a goddamn pouch of cigarettes, it costs me €15.
Yeah, it's fucking great for me though, because it's driving everyone into my goddamn shop.
yeah. You really jumped on the right train.
The amount of people I get every day being like, I don't want to quit smoking, but I can't afford it anymore.
It sucks because I was just in the process of opening up a tobacconist. Tobacconist.
There used to be a tobacconist.
Yeah.
In Carlo.
Cigar
Divine. Yeah.
It's gone.
It is gone, unfortunately.
They used to have licorice skins. I remember that. I used to get them for my fags sometimes.
They
were disgusting.
Yeah, used to have I remember you having
old,
but they were brown, so I thought they looked cool.
Almost senile woman used to serve you and he'd be like, "Are you 18?" And I'd be like, "Yes." And she'd be like, "Are you sure?" And I was like, "Yes." "Would you lie to me?" And I was like, "No." And she'd be like, "Would you though?" And I'm like, "No, I would not lie to you." And I'd be like, "Okay, I'll give you the skins." It's fucking skins. 15, of course.
Or do you know what?
15.
Do you know what was
When
also...
did you start smoking? I feel like the two of us started smoking pretty fucking early. I was like 14,
allegedly.
I think.
Allegedly. 14.
Yeah, it was in around 14, I think.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Yeah. That's almost 10 years ago.
My poor lungs.
Yeah, man. That's when I had like my first cigarette when I was like 13, and then when I was 20, I was like, I've been smoking for 7 years.
Yeah.
That's horrible.
Yeah.
And that's when I was like, I need to stop doing that. It's not good.
So
I do this instead.
I actually smoke so little now. I had no cigarettes yesterday. I just didn't bother.
Isn't it great, you know, like in the 80s, 70s, 60s, people thought the world of tomorrow would be like flying cars and, you know, sci-fi stuff. But all we actually did was reinvent smoking.
Yeah. We brought
Isn't that
smoking
wonderful?
into the 21st century.
Yeah.
Who saw that one coming? Like that.
No one, actually.
Yeah.
Fucking no one.
Yeah.
But
Everyone
again-
thought that has been a tried and tested method for a very long time.
Yeah.
People have been smoking tobacco for ages.
I just think it's so wild, though.
The-
We literally reinvented smoking.
The idea of an electronic cigarette is cool, but as I've said, and as someone else told me, this isn't my own. I didn't come up with this saying, but it struck home at me. You can finish a cigarette.
Yeah.
You can't finish a vape.
Finish a vape.
And goddamn, there's nothing like going out and smoking a cigarette and like.
You gotta think, if any stuff like comes up about vapes in the future, negative aspects, it's gonna be...
I don't think I feel like vapes are pretty.
Negative aspects come up all the time, man, but the fucking...
No, but I mean like some hardcore...
Yeah.
How much of that is
Yeah.
tobacco companies though?
But you see, that's the thing. Like, they're just... If you
Like
actually...
sugar did
if
back
you-
in the day. Made
Look,
flat out to
it's
be
really
shit.
annoying that no one knows as much about vapes as me, because when I read the articles and I read like the layout of these, they're like, new study shows that the vape is bad for you in this way, and I read it and I'm like, oh, you're using too much nicotine in a tank that you would never use that much nicotine in. You're fucking dopes. It's not how you do it.
I'm not talking about that stuff. I mean like stuff that doesn't exist right now, stuff in the future that could be like cold hard facts of just like raw negative.
That's true. It will take time.
It could happen.
It will
I
take
know
time
it'll happen
to.
way in the future. I'm saying if that does ever occur,
I think it's a lot less
Then-
likely with vapes.
then it's like I could see nicotine bizarrely, like, or tobacco bizarrely being like still a thing, and
Yeah.
then e-cigarettes being totally banned.
No, I think
because of that fact that they don't run out. You know what
Yeah,
I mean?
yeah.
The
I
liquid
suppose.
kind of
Yeah,
runs
maybe.
out. Yeah,
But you see, but they can put a limit on that, like, you know, if they had to.
yeah.
But like,
I like the idea of the jewel. I've heard people talk about it's like just a long thin one. that you
Yeah.
just hit like a cigarette. It feels more like a cigarette in your hand.
Do you know what we're apparently getting in soon, and I'm really excited for it, is the little one. It's like a similar size to the one that Dave Chappelle has in that special that he's just got. You can't even fucking see the thing. He's just puffing on it. It's like the size of like a fucking USB stick or whatever.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
that looks. I'd love a little one like that, because I've got my little Breeze, but I do like
Bet it
the
would run
idea
out
of
like
just
fuck though.
yeah. But I do like the idea of just a little small thing. To
Also,
just
I
puff
feel like
on.
Dave Chappelle was probably vaping something else in there.
Well, you see, that's the thing. No,
That
Joe.
good.
No, Joe Rogan talked about it on his podcast, being
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
man, he must have been getting so high, he just kept hitting that vape pen. I'm like, no, that was definitely just nicotine,
You
without
think?
a fucking doubt. He's smoking it way too much for him to be getting higher during that whole special. There's no way.
Yeah, but
he's
also
taking
he's
like
Dave
2
Chappelle.
or 3 pulls after every joke.
He's Dave Chappelle.
He's
though.
not smoking weed. He's not.
In one of the specials I watched the other day is the last batch of them. He smokes a joint like mid-set.
Yeah.
There's a bit where he actually it's really funny. He asks like everyone to throw up a cigarette. Like he's like, does anyone have a cigarette? I'm in Austin. They're throwing up cigarettes onto the thing, and as he goes down to pick one up, as he stands up off his stool, you see his hand slip into his back pocket,
And he just pulls out.
and he pulls out a joint, and then he goes down and picks up like the cigarette, and then just puts the cigarette in his pocket and like.
That's pretty good. But I do not think that he was vaping because
you would know more than I would. So I'll have to take your word for it.
Vaping weed is just supposedly. I haven't done it. Supposedly insanely strong. Like. I was in Amsterdam and I wanted to buy vape liquid to bring back with me because I was like, oh, I want to try some Amsterdam
That's
vape
a minefield.
liquids, right? Yeah, and I was in the shop and I was like, does this have like any THC in it? Like, can I bring this back to Ireland? And they were like, oh yeah, no, we're not allowed to sell marijuana vape liquid. And I was like, why? And they were like, because it's too strong and because it doesn't go out. People will just keep puffing on it and get too fucking high.
Oh yeah, you can't finish. Again, it's
you
it's
can't
the problem
finish,
of not being able to finish.
Yeah. So like, so if you
We've all been there.
in a vape shop in a vape shop in Amsterdam, they won't sell me fucking THC.
That's crazy
because it's too strong. That I do not think that Dave Chappelle is just vaping away on weed the whole time.
Yeah, he's rich. He has the workarounds though.
Yeah, he uses it too much for it to be weed.
Yeah, I would imagine.
Yeah,
I'll have to watch it.
Yeah,
do
this is
have
the
to watch my
impression
way
I
through
get.
that.
Anyway, because he smokes fags on stage, but he doesn't smoke a single fag throughout that special, because he presumably couldn't. So he had a vape. That's my.
Yeah, he's
taking.
indoors now. He's in like the comedy room or comedy store.
Yeah.
Is that the comedy store one?
No,
or
I think the comedy store one.
That's the smaller.
Yeah, that's
one.
the really small one. Yeah, I think he does just smoke on stage in that.
Oh, that's weird. I thought that wouldn't be allowed.
He's Dave Chappelle.
He is Dave Chappelle, though, yeah. And also, maybe if you're on stage, like, because you can smoke cigarettes if it's a play.
Well, no, but they're herbals. Don't they have to be herbal? In most places, they have to be herbal, and they suck. I hate herbal cigarettes.
Herbal cigarettes are the worst thing ever, and they're ridiculous.
Yeah, I'm sure they have to be. I'm sure they're herbal. If you're Dave Chappelle, then they're herbal in inverted commas. And you just smoke a fucking nicotine cigarette and no one cares.
I was doing a thing a little while ago. It was just an extra, but I had to like smoke a fag, but they wouldn't let me smoke a fag. And I'm 22 years old. I'm 22. I thought I nearly made a mistake there. And they wouldn't let me smoke an actual fag. They kept giving me herbal ones, and we did like upwards of 10 takes. And I just every time had to light another herbal cigarette, and they're dirt. They taste awful. They make you feel sick. It's not good. It's not good at all.
Well, when I was working on Inspector Jury, I think maybe because it was a German thing, it maybe had different rules. Who knows? But the main character in that was smoking like regular cigarettes.
Yeah.
But the interesting thing was they'd have like a big bag of cigarettes that were all different lengths. For continuity in like
That's
shots.
a good idea, because can I just say that has always driven me crazy. Lack of continuity for cigarettes.
Yeah.
If someone like just lights a cigarette and then in the next shot it's half gone, that always annoys the fuck out of me.
Lack of continuity in anything in film.
Yeah, it's really jarring.
It's like, oh, you just didn't give a fuck, did you?
Because I have been on like nothing film sets, like fucking bare minimum kind of shit, and there's always a continuity guy. Yeah. There's a guy whose whole job is to just make sure everything's the exact same.
That's the thing with Always Sunny, which must be absolute fucking hell for continuity. The outside of the bar is in LA, in like a lot in LA, and the inside set of the bar is in Philadelphia. So any scene where they walk out the door and into the street
2 different states
is shot 2 different weeks apart, and they have to like make detailed notes of what everyone like looks like and shit. And
they have to put that fucking bad new tattoo on Charlie every time he's gonna be in a t-shirt.
Why not just build the same set in LA? Right?
Yeah, legit. Yeah.
And you can even see it sometimes when the door is open and they're standing outside. It like looks weirdly green screened. You see it in Charlie work.
Yeah.
It's like weirdly green screened in.
Yeah, because I was gonna say that because I didn't know that until you said it just now, and I bet it would be obvious in Charlie work if I was paying attention, because a lot of it is one shot.
The alleyway
and there is
scenes
some like
as well.
going in and out. Yeah.
Also, the basement is a different room. It's not actually like below the bar. Obviously.
Yeah, no, that's a pretty obvious cut. That's
they
probably the most
go
obvious
across
cut in it.
The brick wall.
Yeah.
Could they be less efficient?
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Also, that fucking scene with the fire alarm.
That's brilliant. That's
so
amazing. It's
because when
I have not seen these.
I will act.
Yeah.
We might watch it tonight. It's great. It's a really good episode.
yeah, just
I'd be willing to watch it again.
I think maybe that is all we have time for today.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we're 2 hours in.
No. Yeah.
I think
Wow.
we're kind of just going in circles now.
Yeah, man. Yeah. I think this would be a good place to call it.
Good place
But
to call it.
Rambly.
I also need
Yeah.
to pee as well, and I don't want to like pause it and come back.
Fuck it. Don't
So-
bother. We can wrap up pretty quickly. I feel.
Yep.
Yeah.
Links to everything down below.
And on the
Facebook,
thumbnail.
Twitter,
Like,
on the thing.
subscribe,
Like,
hit the bell.
actually do
Thank
like
you,
and subscribe,
Evan.
and if you've got this far, you obviously like
Yeah. Enjoy it.
maybe you enjoyed it. I don't know why you would listen to a 2-hour podcast and be like, this sucks.
Oh man, there's some crazy people on the internet.
If
That's
you-
true. I'm one of them. Sometimes I look at stuff for 2 hours
If
and be like,
you-
that was fucking stupid.
If you disagree with anything that was said or agree, feel free to leave a comment. If you want to see more Evan,
Leave a
Yeah,
comment.
leave a comment.
Leave a comment.
comment.
Evan's continued career in this podcast is
I'm really
it's
trying
on
to.
the line.
if we
I'm
get
really
no comments,
trying
if
to-
we get no comments on this episode, you're never coming back.
Little does he know, I have 15 accounts.
People loved Evan.
Yeah, man, he was a fucking smash hit.
Our watch time has not gone up at all.
Yeah, the drop off rate is incredible. Like 30 seconds in, people stop listening, but everyone's commenting saying they want more Evan.
It's bizarre. I would never know how that had happened.
So yeah,
Yeah, so links all in the thumbnail or on the thumbnail.
I keep forgetting-
in the description.
yeah. Well,
Yeah.
you all know where it is by now.
Yes.
Like and subscribe. Follow us
Yeah.
on
Down below.
Facebook.
Yeah,
That's generally the best place to get like updates.
yeah, I'd say so. Yeah, look out for other
Twitter.
updates that might be coming.
That's
in
true
some
too.
time.
Yeah.
You know, who
And
knows?
our next episode is going to be our anniversary
Our
episode.
1 year anniversary.
1 year anniversary.
Can you
so
believe we made it 1 year, Evan? We did it, man.
Oh my
Finally.
I'm so
God.
happy for you guys.
This is one of the cutest things I've ever experienced. And it's not even the anniversary yet.
No, yeah. This is just the hype up to it.
Wow.
Yeah, so thank you very much
I
for
haven't seen
listening. We are Translation Lost.
And we'll be better
podcast.
at this next week.
Fuck you, Brian. We'll be better at this next week. I hate
We'll be
you.
1 year at this next week.
Yeah, fuck.
See ya.